Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we're ready to get it here at Alpha X Pro Series Ultimate Showdown. We have 8 incredible players getting ready to face each other. And we have our second group stage at the ready just now, going through beta phase, going through everything we need to get the first couple games started. It's gonna start out with Sound versus Dream. Other two players are gonna be Impact and Hurricane, so big representation here from Braystar Gaming, of course, great team. But you know what? It's Alpha X. Everyone must be hyped here in the team about our very own player, and we're gonna start out with our very own player, which is going to be Zaun, of course. Some Protoss versus Terra in action. We're gonna start out also on the new maps, and guys, if you were looking for an appetizer for next GSL season, look no further, because here we're gonna have some pretty high level StarCraft. Of course, we had yesterday 4 players that are already, all 4 of them qualified for the next GSL, same today. And of course they're gonna try out the new maps, gonna try out stuff, but there's plenty at stake. There's a lot of money on the run, of course, and we couldn't have it any better. We want the players to feel, of course, rewarded for their actions. And what else is there to say, guys? We're ready to get our first game, as you can see on my overlay. It's gonna be on Death Aura, actually. First game of Dream vs. Zaun, already starting out with a new map. I'm plenty of hyped. I hope you are as well as I am, because you know what, it's not like only the new maps, it's also Terra vs Protoss. Like, this matchup has, I don't know, it has kind of a toll on me, you know. I just absolutely love this matchup, and I can't wait to see what those two players are going to offer us in our very first game. So let's get right into it. No reason to no further. It's gonna be a GSL style group. But let's get into introductions. Spawning in the top left hand corner of that aura is the blue Protoss player, hailing from Korea, playing for Alpha X. It is Zaun. In the bottom right hand corner instead, you're looking at the base of the red Terran player, and in from Korea as well, playing for Braystar Gaming. It is Dream. So I would love to go into how this map is shaped, what are the new things that is bringing us, but I just have to talk a little bit about this. Dream already proxying 1 Rex, well hidden. Of course, this supply depot over here kind of gives it away that Dream is up to no good. It's not the new patch, it's just the new maps. New patch is not out in Korea yet, so we're just playing on the old patch, but with the new maps. The playoffs will be played instead on Friday with the new patch as well. So this is pre-patch new maps. I know it sounds weird, but that's the way we found the most balance. So of course, Marine first here for Dream at his own base. Over here there is already a tech lab being built by Dream. Concussive shells, of course, is going to be the upgrade of choice once he has enough gas for it. Here it is. Very cheap upgrade that can get a lot of damage if Sound is not careful enough. And it doesn't really look like he's expecting too much. There's a shield battery, but this shield battery cannot be overcharged. It's not new patch, so yeah. Anyway, also these zones over here are kind of interesting because there are 3 bridges, 3 choke points, and those are accelerator zones. They're basically the opposite of the inhibitor zones. Well, it'll be easier to just see what it happens here. Units are just gonna zoom past those bridges because they give quite a lot of speed. The first two Marauders are already out. Twilight Council just barely started for Zaun. And Dream is still hiding his own units. Now he's sending them forward. Concussive Shells is done. These Stalkers cannot kite backwards. There is a bunker on the making. Probably will not go down if Zaun is careful enough. Already some probes are cut into the action. The SCV stays alive and many more are brought into the action. The pylon will go down. The shield battery is no help. The probes are put into the fight. But Dream will have the numbers. Will get a couple more kills before backing off. But the bunker will not be finished. Zaun retreats to the high ground. Shield batteries are of no use without a pylon next to them. And the first Stalker is just now out. Of course, Marines falling left and right. Those probes trying to shock for some more kills. Another Marine will go down. But the Marauders are just not giving up. Zaun finding another way to go down the ramp. But these Concussive Shells Marauders are really dealing a lot of damage, preventing Zaun from cutting backwards. One Marauder down, second down as well at the cost of 2 Stalkers though, and more SCVs are brought into the action. Another Marauder goes down, but the bunker will be done, and the last standing unit for Zaun will die. All the probes will be brought into the fight, and when this bunker done, there is absolutely no way Zaun will be able to hold this with just probes. More units need to be made. Blink is on the making, but with just one gateway, Zaun cannot reinforce this position further. GG gets gold, and Dream will get a quick game 1 victory. I wouldn't go as far as to say that this was super convincing. I feel like Zaun had all it needed to actually get a victory in this first game. Of course, the hold was not an easy one, but neither was the commitment out of Dream for the first push. Of course, he has seen the damage and he just thought, okay, let me do this more. And he eventually won the game. But of course, Zaun got all the cards in the right place to get a victory in this best of 3. Let's see. Oh, okay, so we're on the new patch, actually. On test mode. Oh, we won't be able to have WCS game art for this. So it's gonna be quite of a bummer. I have to keep very close eye to whatever happens on the map because no probe or SCV loss count will be shown. But I will do my best to see whatever happens left and right. And this map, oh, this is a map I really like. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Submarine is the blue Protoss player playing for Alpha X. It is Zaun. And in the top left hand corner instead, you're looking at the base of the red Terran player playing for Brave Star Gaming. It is Dream. Oh well. Dream doesn't really like building stuff in his own base, does he? Ooh la la. Okay, so Submarine, pretty short map. Of course, walking through the map is not easy because all of these choke points with rocks. But it's a pretty short map nonetheless. What I really like about this map is that it basically forces you to build a fair base that is closer to your opponent's base that you probably like if you want to play a very big long macro game. But oh, Zaun gets the scouting of these barracks immediately. Of course, this naturally is pretty damn big, and there is also Reaper Cliff as you can see over here. So I'm quite impressed that Zaun got it at the first possible scouting. His probe will be a little bit more annoying for the time being, but Zaun doesn't really seem too scared after seeing the Rex in the natural. He will go for a gateway expand kind of build. And now that his probe is trapped, he will get a little bit more scouting, sacrificing it for a greater cause. The Reaper needs to go back home to stop this probe from getting the kill. It was a close one, but the Reaper eventually gets the kill before the probe can. And it's time now for Dream to get his own scouting. And I'll just follow this Reaper to show you how fast is the route in between the two bases. They're very, very close. Like, it's astounding how close they are. It's one of the shortest maps we've had since Kairos Junction times. Like, it's very short. Like, not even the wideness and the position of the two bases can really make up for the fact that the naturals are incredibly close together. So Dream will get a little bit of scouting. There's a second gateway on the way for Town, as well as Twilight Council and an Adept for scouting as well. Of course, with a Stalker out, Dream will not get any amount of damage. Back home, first tank in the making. And we have a second Rex, actually, and a second command center. Third Rex, it's gonna be a free Rex opener for Dream. Of course, he has the factory before everything else. He doesn't have the third command center, so he's looking to have a lot of Marines out with the tanks and build a couple bunkers just outside of the natural of Sound. And I mean, this is a very good map for such strategy. I was talking about the resemblance of this map with Kairos Junction, with a less wide open area but plenty of choke points, and the complete lack of bases in the middle ground, with these big old ramp here in between, basically natural third and fourth. So it's gonna be interesting if we see Dream making some bunkers on the other side of the map. Robo is out for Sound, as well as Link is almost done. So what to expect right now? These Stalkers won't be able to get this one Reaper yet. We have concussive shells on the making. No stim, but concussive shells is on the making. Of course, Marauders gave plenty of value in game 1 and will give plenty more in this game without Medivacs to actually bring up anything to the table, since no Medivac will be done in quite a while. But here it comes, 2 tanks, a bunch of Marines and a couple Marauders are already on their way through the map. Of course, SCVs are going to be brought to make those bunkers I was talking about, and Sound will intercept part of the army of Dream on the way. But of course, there are ramps in this map, and ramps are never a good thing for a player that moves just a tad later than his opponent. Now that Blink is down, those Stalkers can get a little bit of damage before having to commit to stop the tanks and the bunkers from getting up. There is Guardian Shield already done, but one Stalker has already fallen. 2 gateways at the front will be the target for Dream, but the first 2 bunkers are already on the making. Observer will go down, and Sound doesn't have the amount of vision it really wants to have. This gateway is going to be forfeited, but the first Immortal is out, the second one is in the making, and Blink Stalkers are getting this around. First bunker is gonna be denied, but 2 gateways were already killed by Dream. This is proving extremely effective, and I love that Dream immediately went into action with what I thought this map was a little bit too good for Terran for. So that one bunker will never go up. The second Immortal is out, but this location over here is already pretty damn well enforced by Dream. He's gonna have 4 bunkers in just a little bit, and now that the robotics facility is under attack, Sound really needs to make a move. Probes are going to be put into the fire. The Blink Stalkers coming from behind, diving on top of the tanks, and the tanks are gonna go down indeed. At least the most of them. The Immortals doing a lot of work right here. First bunker goes down. Second bunker will go down as well. No salvage for Dream. Sound paid a heavy price for this hold, but it's going to be a hold nonetheless. One of the Immortal barely survives. 1 HP on this guy. What a hero. But Dream is gonna be reinforcing the choke point on this ramp. What a weird map Submarine is. It's a very, very interesting one. But it looks so Terran favored. Oh well. Down is heavily behind right now. Dream was able to get everything he wanted. He's gonna make a starport just now, but the amount of production he has will just reinforce stuff way faster than Zaun can get any defenses back up. Charge is done, and it's already what I wanted to see from Zaun. These Zealots are going to be super important. 2 Immortals and a World Prism. Name a more iconic duo. I'll wait. Because right now Zaun is bound to do some damage through the map with his hit squad. But Dream is not really giving up the map control as of now. Another tank is on the making, and now that Immortals are out, the Tech Club is probably gonna be sniped. 2 Marauders will go down. That's at least 1 Marauder will go down. That's pretty good. Steam will be denied. That's incredible actually. Great call by Dream. He's already committing. Zaun has made up a lot of army, has remained most of the probes he lost, and he has had quite the upgrade of the tech advantage for quite a bit. A lot of SCVs are put into the fight. Immortals targeting down those tanks, and it looks like Zaun will not barely make it. He's just that close. Those SCVs going in miles in favor of Dream. It's going to be very clutch. But it seems that with both Immortals surviving, I was overestimating the amount of forces Dream brought to this. Now it's just 3 Marauders and a tank really being a threat. Those Marines do not have steam. They have combat shields, but they still fall so fast to these charging Zealots. The Viking will go down to the Stalkers, and Dream's army is totally annihilated. Zaun moves through the map, and Dream has beaten more than he could chew. Third command center, I don't know about that body, because Zaun has a full-on robotics facility army just outside your boundaries. It's going to be pretty fast, but this World Prism control is insane. Immortals just refusing to die. More Zealots into the battle, and it's just this tank right here standing its ground. Basically all of the SCVs have been put into the fight, but there is no army for Dream. Zaun gets game 2, and the score is gonna be tied. What a game we just had. Zaun falling like 30 supply behind. It was just intense. Let us keep it at that. It was an intense game. I feel like Zaun barely made it through the first push. And the second one was looking even more clutch, but in the end it was looking like, let's all admit it, Immortals are a very good unit. So Immortals carried Zaun into this game number 3, and now he has the momentum to strike again, and we're gonna go on a place we probably know a little bit better. We're heading on to Everdream for the ace match of this best of 3 series. Of course, both players know plenty about this map. Very standard map, aside from the big ramp, of course, in between the natural and the fur, but it's a very defensive map. I feel like it's gonna be quite a different game from the ones we have seen so far. I still think that Dream is going to be the aggressor, but by any means I don't really think he's going to go for any kind of too all-in kind of builds. But we're already in game 3. Let's see what the players are bringing to the table. Spawning in the top right hand corner. You're looking at the base of the blue Protoss player, just having tied the score. Playing for Alpha X, this is Zaun. And in the bottom left hand corner instead, spawning as the red Terran player, playing for Brave Star Gaming, it is Dream. What a great Terran player this is. Of course, often outshadowed by the likes of Maru Innovation, TY, nowadays Cure. But this guy is just a great player. Oh my god, what are they talking about? Oh, I know plenty of you can read this. I'm not Korean, guys. I have no clue what they are saying. So, as I was expecting, Dream is going for what is looking like a more standard opener. Probably just going to be some kind of Reaper expand for now. Of course, he can go pretty wild pretty quickly if he decides to. But, you know, I don't think he will. Down on the other side of the map. Gateway expand. Getting the standard opener out as well. And to add a shield battery over here, with shield battery overcharge being a thing. Getting those nasty open all lanes for the Terran players have become a little bit harder. I'm actually surprised I didn't see Zaun use it on the first push from Dream. Instead, it was just chrono boosting his probes out, which in the end worked off in favor of him. But I really want to see shield battery overcharge in action. I feel like it has so much potential. We will see. We will see. Product console on the making for Zaun. Of course, it's going to be Blink. It cannot be anything else. Basically, we have a second adept on the way. Actually, I really do not think it's going to be Resonating Glaives. I really do not think it's a good upgrade against Terran, unless he goes for triple Rex, which he's not going for right now. This adept will not get much scouting. Of course, seeing this bunker is already a pretty big deal. It basically means that Dream is kind of not committed into an attack. He is really looking forward to defend, to be the defender, not the aggressor. His adept will not complete the shade. The Dream is getting his starport and he's getting Widowmines out for the Widowmine drop, of course. Will he build an armory? This is balanced test mode, so it's gonna be on a new patch. It means that if Dream has the armory, those Widowmines are going to be hidden without the Drilling Crows upgrade. Which is very good if you ask me. So no armory yet. We see the medevac being done, collecting the Widowmines. Without the armory, it's not going to be any kind of hidden Widowmine play. The Phoenix will get the scouting. A Hallucinating Phoenix, of course. There is one Liberator in the making also that will be scouted probably. At least Zaun got an idea of this coming. But what about the medevac? Zaun not getting a third yet. He has a Python over here in position. He will see this medevac coming. The Stalkers are a little bit too far ahead. Just at the wrong time. Moving forward. Now the probes will need to move back away. First Widowmine gets a kill. Second Widowmine gets two. But one of them needs to be sacrificed. Of course, this is Everdream. This medevac could hide here pretty much forever. So even just one Widowmine can really work wonders. So Zaun will need to do another pool of probes. Okay, I love this, by the way. 5 minutes, Robotics Bay. He's gonna go into Colossi very fast. He has Blink done. He could get some damage. There is one Widowmine over here, forcing one. Oh, actually, yes, that's a very good catch from Zaun. Forcing the Widowmine to unburrow and then getting the kill. Very well done by Zaun. Perfect defense against Widowmine Ras. But, well. Third command center is on the making. More production is going to be added by Dream. While Zaun is just waiting for tech right now. He has map control with his Blink Stalkers. This Liberator should have really done something by now. With one Colossus, Extended Thermal Lance, +1 and Charge. on the way, Sound is looking forward for this mid game because he's going to have plenty of options to face the army of Dream head-on. Okay, Observer is going to get in position, allowing Dream to blink into the main. Of course, the Raven will not be caught. Dream was well positioned himself. And yeah, this Medivac cannot do much. It's just gonna go fly back home. The Liberator, I'm super surprised Dream hasn't done anything about it. He just basically forgot about it. That's too bad. So Dream is going to get his mid-game upgrades, Steam, Combat Shields, +1/+1. And of course, all of the reactors needed to improve his production are on the making, but his army is already plenty of strong. And a bunch of SCVs will be transferred to the third, making the economy of Dream slightly better than the one of Sound for the time being, with mules of course. As I was expecting, this has been this far much more economical based game. This Liberator finally gets something done, 1 kill for it. Will probably not be able to fly any further. Oh, jeez. Look at this. This Stalker is basically 1 toe away from being blasted. Great scouting, by the way, from Zaun. Dream doesn't see the Observer yet, even with the Raven out. Ooh, maybe... Yeah, Dream is definitely looking for the Observer, by the way. Oop. Goodbye, Marine. Zaun walking forward through the map. Yes, 3 Colossi out. His tech raise was a wonderful thing to do. Especially because Colossi on Everdream are... This is probably the best map in the pool to play them. I think also Eisenchrome is a good one, but we haven't seen any of that map yet. Zealots getting the other amount of vision and map control Zaun was looking for. The Army of Dream is plenty of strong right now with the upgrades being done as well. I don't think Dream can get this head-on at all. There is just 1 tank over here. I think there is just 1 tank at all. Okay, it's 2 tanks. And Zaun is already getting into these Raptors. Man, these guys feeling confident. Legendary Phoenix will get more scouting done. But it's time for some Zealots in the production for Zaun. This 1 Marine will catch a glimpse of this War Prison moving out. Meanwhile, the Liberator is still sieged over here, trying to be in position for when the time comes for him to do more damage. It's a bit of a standoff right now. No real big threat to Dream with these Vikings and this very defensive location being established. Of course, he cannot get a 4th any time soon, but I feel like Dream is approaching a very, very high power spike. They probably just had to be on. Oh my god, they disrupted. Almost gets a pretty nasty shot. Of course, with Zealots and Stalkers in position, the 2 armies are starting to clash. These Vikings will be threading in a dangerous spot. Only a bunch of Stalkers will fall for their sins. But with the Vikings in position, very good anti-armor missile for Dream, forcing Zaun to retreat. And the 4th base can be taken finally for the Terran player, while Zaun has had one for quite a while. So +3 ground weapons, 4 more gateways, and yes, Shadow Stride is there on the making for Zaun. He wants to get those Star Templars into the main base of his opponent and start getting some damage. Of course, with 2 sensor towers and a bunch of missile turrets at the other bases, he will probably not be able to get any economical damage. Oh, these missile towers over here is a god-given right now for Dream. That is basically all he was missing. Those Dark Templars really need to be blinking aggressively to get anything done. There is one ghost out. Is there any nuke? No, there is not. This panel will be sniped. The half of the army of Dream on this side will probably not be able to get anything done. A bunch of Zealots and Dark Templars were trying to get damage, but this is the part of the army that has a Raven in it. Those Dark Templars cannot do much. +3/+3 on the way for Dream, as well as 2 more bases over here. No, okay, one scan gets used. Shadow striding away. Zan will save his Dark Templars, but he needs to keep his army split into it, and that's never a good thing with the Protoss player, even if he has a heavily gateway based army. Okay, over here, I feel like this engagement can go in favor of Sound if he brings the other part of the army over here, but instead it's looking like he wants to commit on the other side. Of course, losing a bunch of Zealots, not a big deal. We're transitioning into the late game. Both players kind of scared of doing a move, but it looks like Zaun will be the one stepping forward with these Disruptors getting pretty good Novas and getting a cancel on one command center. The Army of Dream is chasing behind. A lot of them will fall. One EMP kind of whips. But over here, Dream once again more damage, and this EMP will not whip at all. Dark Templars will not escape with their lives. The rest of the army of Zaun is collapsing, but this engagement over here was in favor of Dream. I like these upgrades being taken, Observer Speed and War Prism Speed, to be able to be more present throughout the map. There is one Observer over here. Oh, the drop into the mid for Dream. He's getting some damage, getting on top of the pylons, and the production is a pretty big deal, but Dark Templars, man, they pack a punch. Everything will go down in the main of Zaun for Dream, but the two armies are still quite too big for it to make any difference. A pretty bad anti-armor missile will get only one Disruptor in Cheeto Dust, while the army of Dream is still split in two. Zaun was able to create a big death pool with these Disruptors, giving him quite the micro advantage. Planestalkers will get the Raven, I think. Was that the Raven? I think it was. Of course, now that the Liberators are a thing, more of these Stalkers will need to be used. Disruptors getting a very good Nova. 20 supply of Dream, falling in an instant. But the Terran player is really looking for a way to break through the defenses of Zaun. He's going to be found himself in two different pincers. And the Dark Templars will shoot the army of Dream away. Zaun getting all of the better engagements this far. Liberators now are really making it work for Dream defensively, but these Disruptors getting the damage done. Liberators will siege up over here. Beautiful EMP gets all of the units of Zaun, who decides to just back off and fight in another place. Another EMP will get the last few remaining shields. Zaun threading a very dangerous step forward. These Stalkers fighting underneath the Liberators will not have an easy life. Both players losing basically all of their units in just one big fight. It looks like Zaun will be the one replacing it quicker because of his stronger, higher, bigger bank. And his army is already pretty strong again. Of course, there are a lot of Liberators out. Cannot really be blinking through them. And Disruptors cannot get the Novas they're looking for. But those Disruptors are getting so much value. So many kills on them. As well as those Dark Templars, to be honest. Shadow Stride was a great idea. Now the Stalkers diving on top of the Liberators. Another very good EMP gets basically all of them. But these Disruption Novas are just insane. Zaun out microing his opponent. But these Liberators are really getting a little bit too much damage. Another great Disruption Nova whiffs due to the Disruptors dying. But of course, it's time for Sound to reinforce the location. All of his bank is basically gone right now. But he has a very strong economy. He can replace his gateway units very fast. And with Stalkers, those Liberators cannot get much done. Disruption Nova whiffs. But there are 4 more in the making. This one will whiff as well. Almost catches a bunch of his own Zealots with their pants down. Sound really making it work. A warping of Dot Templars over here in the bottom right will save this base from getting too much damage from the drop of Dream, who's now taking the defensive stance as good as he can possibly can, to be honest. These Liberators are really doing wonders defensively wise. More Disruption Novas will be used. Dream stings just outside the range of both. But that's so many Disruptors. He can basically use those Novas just to get vision at this stage. Our Liberators are relentlessly getting forward. Everdream, plenty of choke points in this map. But once he gets over here, those Liberators will be far more vulnerable. Or will they? There's just so many of them. Sound is maxed out again. Those Stalkers are blinking forward to get the damage. Disruption Nova zoning out the army of Dream. Engagement goes heavily in favor of Sound. But his army is badly bruised, especially from the EMPs. Just 3 Liberators standing. Another one joins the battle. Another playing forward. That's the last few standing. Disruption Novas will get more Zealots than anything else. But Dream is making 4 Liberators at the time. Those Shadow Strike Dot Templars are really trying to make a number. But of course they do not have the capabilities to do that. 2 more Colossi are out for Sound. Of course, once the Liberators are out, no Vikings are in the making. Those Colossi can again get plenty of value. But those Ghosts and Liberators together are really doing wonders for Dream right now. He's been behind for so long at this rate. And Sound wasn't just quite able to close out this game. Once again, Dream looking to get this base in the bottom right. We see +3 shields and +3 armor being taken by Sound. It won't even make a difference. Shields won't make a difference against Ghosts. And it's now turning into a base trade. Things are getting nuts. This planetary will go down, but so will the 4th base of Sound. A good recall gets issued. This base has no chance of surviving. The whole army of Sound retreats. Actually, not the whole one, but almost all of it. Disruptors falling left and right. These Ghosts will get plenty good EMPs. And suddenly Sound was for a second struggling to keep up in supply. Over here, Dream steaming again on top of another base out of Sound. His economy is quite in shambles. So is the one of Dream. And right now, both players struggling to get a foothold in their own side of the map. This army of Dream is cornered here in the bottom right. Sound will try to collapse on it. EMPs will eat almost everything that they needed to, but these Disruptors are just getting too much value. Once again, both players losing basically their whole army. But right now, Dream looking to blindside his opponent, get another base here in the top left. Those Zealots cannot do much against the Liberators, and the base will go down. Sound goes down from 7 bases to 4, of which just 1 is really mining. His gas income is non-existent. And what is this? Big lag spike. I don't know for what reason, but it looks like Sound and Dream both lost a bunch of their armies again. So both players really stopped on income. Dream trying to take 2 more bases right now. Of course, not going to be an easy task, not with Sound sharking just outside of Sensor Tower's range. But this game has been very close at this rate. At this stage, sorry. These disruptors. Let me see how many kills do they have. I think a lot of the hero ones have died. Of course, these base will never survive. A lot of fresh mules gone into the sink for Dream. That's never a good thing. One disruptor will go down. His disruption ore will not get much done. But the EMP will not get much done either. So I'm looking to pincer the last remaining pieces of the army of Dream, and is looking to do so in style. Liberators are down and now blinking forward on top of everything. Medivacs need to load up and fly away, but this doesn't look good for the Terran player. Going to lose another base. Disruptors are still alive, and Zaun can really hinder the economy of his opponent once more. This Orbital Command needs to fly away into safety. Zaun really making a number right now. With mostly gateway units, Dream was really looking to get a comeback. But right now, Zaun can go through the map. There is one last standing Liberator, no blink available. These disruptors getting crazy novas. And the army of Dream is basically no more. Colossi fighting under... Oh my god, these novas are just through the roof. One more base for Dream will go down, and that is going to be the last stand. It's now or never for the Terran player. His economy is non-existent. His production cannot really keep up with the one of Zaun. 9 Marines in the making at a time. But with 2 Colossi and a Disruptor out, those Marines cannot do much. Dream has not retaken this space, as Zaun is acknowledging. So it's time to push onto the ramp. Suiciding his army into the planetary will be a mistake, but Zaun, please kill Dream right now. If there is a moment, it is now. Observers getting into position. One Shadow Strike Dark Templar. Oh, will go down without doing anything really. But Zaun's economy is really struggling right now as well. He's finally replacing many lost probes. He's 30 workers ahead, of course. So compared to the one of Dream, he's very much ahead. Of course, Dream is looking to be ahead only because he dropped so many mules over here. But in the end, Zaun making Archons right now. Like, those are the first 2 Archons in the whole game. And I still feel like it's basically everything he needs. There is just one Ghost. Those Archons can do wonders. Guardian Shield needs to be used again. And Disruptors getting the Novas needed to close out the game. My voice is destroyed right now, but this was an incredible game. Zaun gets game number 3 against Dream and advances to the winners match. It's time to switch players now. We're gonna go ahead and see what Impact and Hurricane have in store for us. And we're also gonna have a co-caster for the next few games. And here he is.
Hey there.
Everybody, welcome, Black One. Ooh. Let me fix this in a second. Yeah, I just have to do this. And we're up for business. How you doing, my friend?
Oh, I'm doing great, actually. I slept for like 12 hours because I didn't sleep, well, for any hour yesterday. So, might have overslept a little.
Well, I didn't sleep at all, so...
Oh my god.
Well, you know, there was actually Winter had this crazy thing. He had parting Tasia and Kyrian against Special Champ and Jim Rising, and I just had to watch it, so I didn't
Oh
sleep.
my god. How did it end?
It was great. It was Spartan screaming left and right, yelling at Kyrian. It was incredible. It was a thing to. It was really a sight for sore eyes.
Oh man. I remember they once had this 2v2 against Winter and another player. I'm not quite sure whom they were playing against. And
It was probably, if I remember correctly, it was Juggernaut Jason, probably.
maybe. And Parting and Kivian just didn't stop shouting at each other.
Yeah.
And this ended in a show match between those two.
yeah. It's basically how it ended. It ended with a 3v3 Archon, and all 6 players were in the same Discord. And it was just. It's everything you would expect out of Bardin, Kyrian, Special Champ, Jim Rising, and Teja being in a single Discord. Of course, like Teja wasn't really the one talking a lot there. Poor guy, because Kyrian and Bardin were just screaming all the time.
Was he at least laughing?
He was laughing a lot, yeah. It really was. And he was
So-
kind of mimicking Bardin from time to time. It was great.
Oh my god. Oh, I really need to see those VODs.
Yeah, you really do, man. Like it was incredible. Like it was hilarious even before the game started, which is quite the thing.
Oh, this is amazing.
Yeah, it was. Anyway, guys, it's time for the second best of 3 series of today. We have seen Zaun advance to the winners match, and we will here see who's gonna be his opponent. Spawning in the top left hand corner, playing for Team LP. It is the loser Impact.
And spawning in the bottom right corner, it's the Red Protoss looking to take maps off of Impact. It is Hurricane.
Alright. Impact had this little cute extractor trick, but it's going to be an early edge nonetheless. So Death Aura was the first map for the first series as well, and I was really thinking, okay, Ice and Chrome is a little bit weirder than this, but how do you feel about the acceleration zones?
Okay, so all I want to see in connection with those is Queens off
Ooh.
creep and Queens on creep running through those.
Yeah,
That's all I want to see. I want to see Queens moving normal.
just look at his overload. It's going to be quite fast. Like, yeah, look at it.
Imagine him going through it with overload speed.
Imagine a Muta going through that.
Oh, imagine a speedling on creep.
Ugh. I would.
Hey!
Yeah, look, also this problem, like, I think
Hey!
it's kind of fair because this map is huge. Like, this map is very big and it's also in a very rich shape. Like, that's so many that airspace. Like, so much.
When I was looking at the map for the first time, I didn't realize how big it actually is.
Yeah,
I
it's
thought like, oh yeah,
gigantic.
you can just wall off at that 4th base, and then you have the high ground 3rd, and everything's going to be great. But the distance between the high ground 3rd and the 4th base on the low ground is so huge.
Yeah, it's very, very big. Okay, so, Impact. Going for quite a standard opener. Hurricane, this time it is in the depths. Like, let's just say that this time it is in the depths. It's going to be a Stargate opener, which I think it makes sense. I always like to see Stargate opener on bigger maps. But, okay, Impact is not really going for anything started at all. He's making so many
No.
links.
Okay, so we've seen this yesterday as well. Armani just pulling the hammer out of his pocket and
Oh,
just hammering his Zerglings across the Protoss players' faces. And this time around, Impact is going to be going for this style. The Cybernetics core will immediately fall and be focused down, and then there's only a bunch of pylons really to save Hurricane.
Hurricane actually cancelled his Phoenix and is making right now an Oracle, which is going to be clutch for this ult, but it needs not to lose too much to this. Of course, 2 adepts and 3 adepts in the shield battery out is going to really work wonders. I really love our Hurricane as wall is off, but the wall will finally go down. These adepts, yeah, needs to step right there into the wall. With the Oracle out, Impact cannot break through. And I feel like Hurricane gets out of this with a pretty big advantage.
Yeah, I agree. Impact is basically all in right now. He's at 19 workers. He's only producing links, and he knows he has to win the game right now or never.
Ooh. Shield battery will fall and the wall will be open. The links are streaming through. The adepts are not now in the middle of so many Zerglings, but 2 Oracles are out and Oracles kill Zerglings very, very fast. The adepts are finally done with, and more Zerglings are getting through. Probes fighting the Zerglings, never a good thing, but there are enough probes to actually make a stand. More Zerglings streaming through, and the wall is going to be open again.
God, it's not close.
Barely.
Oh my god, that's so sad.
unlucky. Hurricane is going to lose many more probes. This Oracle. Okay, shield battery overcharge is not doing anything right here. That was just totally wasted. But here they go into the main. One more Oracle popping out. Probes fighting Zerglings. Again, not a good thing. And Impact will get this game one way or another.
Oh no, he died. No.
Oh.
He had everything in place to defend this, and then that last wall off wasn't quite
That's
closed.
So yeah, the last gateway was so important. It was just barely out of position. Like, that's very unlucky for Hurricane. But
on the other side, we have to comment Impact for drawing back with his Zerglings when the Oracle came in.
yeah,
Because if he had just stayed and tried to force it, the Oracle most likely would have killed all the Zerglings. This way he had more Zerglings, the Oracle was already out of energy, and he was able to bust down that map. A problem occurred while connecting to the game. Please try again later. Okay,
what?
I'll try again later.
You're in the lobby.
Hey, it worked.
Okay. Oh, you were kicked by mistake, apparently. Okay. So we are currently playing on the balanced test mode, so we're not gonna have game art available. Oh, we have a second lobby. Oops, it was the same lobby. Oops,
Yeah.
daisy.
So, what did I miss in the first match?
Oh my god, have you seen game 3 of the series?
I only saw the ending.
Oh my, it was just one of the craziest games.
I saw
the year
DTs.
so far.
Were they as good as in any other game?
He basically used them with the army most of the times, and it was just dealing a ton of damage to the army. But I was so impressed by his disruptor control. There were like at a certain point there was a fight with like 9 ranged liberators, and the disruptors still got like half the army of Dream. It was just a great game. I've rarely seen Zaun playing that good, and it was really interesting. And talking about interesting, here on Ice and Chrome, spawning in the bottom left hand corner as the red Protoss player playing for Brave Star Gaming. currently 1 point from being knocked into the losers match. It is Hurricane.
And the player whose dreams are still up there to grasp. It is the Blue Zerg representing Team LP. It is Impact.
Alright, what to expect? So this map, at a first sight it doesn't sound as weird as it is, but it's very very weird to me. Because like, just look at the triangular third base. This base is incredibly easy to defend. That there is a ramp and then there is just a big choke point. Like, this corridor over here is very very narrow. And then on the other side you have another third base which is connected to your natural. There are rocks to the ramp into the natural, and there are rocks on the other side, making that already very narrow choke point even narrower. So
I agree.
Getting on 4 bases here is insanely easy, and the distance is very high, but then again, if you ever take a 5th base, you will never be able to defend it. This base reminds me a lot of Trident. It has much of the same like feeling of, if you get a 5th base, it's going to be insanely hard for you to defend it. Probably the one in the corner is the most easily defendable, but even then there is so much airspace that it makes like jumping between bases so exploitable. So I really did not make my mind about this map yet. Even though there are these rocks in the middle for the side blocking and there are ramps, walking through the map is not that hard, especially if you destroy these rocks and you're a Zerg player. Getting to the rounds is going to be very very easy. So I pretty much expect every game on this map to go very very long.
So what happened yesterday on this map between, I think it was Astria and Armani, was that we did go to the later stages of the game, but ultimately the Protoss player was not able to defend all the points the Zerg could approach. So there were Baneling drops at the 3rd base, there were huge Ling run-bys at the 4th base.
Yeah.
Same goes for the Terran player. They were just walking, trying to push out, and the Zerg would come around with a huge amount of Zerglings and just kill off the base as soon as the Terran tried to leave.
Yeah, that's what I thought basically. It's going to be a very very good Zerg map, because like Trident had this thing that while being a very good Zerg map, it had this thing that the middle ground was just full of rants, choke points. A lot of places Zerg players do not feel comfortable. Setting up surrounds was very doable, but it wasn't like super easy. I really love this scouting from Impact, by the way. And
it's so great for Impact right now because he sees the Twilight Council, he sees it's researching, so he can probably just discard the possibility of a Dark Shrine, which is always nice.
Yeah, he has also seen the 2 more gateways, so he knows Hurricane is at 4 gateways, so he has, it's basically pieces of a puzzle. Like, you just have to put them in the right spot. This is clearly Adepts. And he knows he's in position, Impact ready to fight those Adepts. Now the Queen's fighting it on the Adepts. One will fall to get 1 more Adept. But here, now Hurricane is still out of creep. Wasn't quite able to dive into that. Impact sacrifices a link to get the vision amount of these Adepts. Queens fighting back again. The healthiest one with more energy will be targeted down. Impact is losing quite a lot of Queens, but this round is crazy good, getting into every single spot. Hurricane really not performing great this kind of push, and now the roaches are out. These Adepts will really need to make a number out of Impact to get damage. Meanwhile, on the other side, the wall will fall down and
my
Impact
God.
can just get inside the base of Hurricane, start hacking at those probes. There are 2 Adepts. Not a lot of them will fall, but 2 of them, pretty good number still. So
Even
Hurricane
though-
is still committed.
Even though only 3 links managed to get in, this is a super annoying count.
Yeah,
Like,
that's for sure.
not only do your probes do pretty bad against them, you have to warp in something on the other side, and it forces you to pay attention in your main. That means you won't be able to get that much damage out on the other side, because warp-ins are missing, your attention is missing, and so on and so forth.
So, how do you feel about the Evo Chamber cancel instead of the Spore Crawler to save the drones?
Well, you won't be able to fit through, right?
Yeah, and Impact just did it twice, and one of the Evo Chambers actually
no.
finished. So,
Oh no! He's researching!
why not? You know?
If you already have the structure, why not research with it?
Yeah, right?
I had a similar occurrence yesterday during my practice sessions, where I managed to build 3 armories, and I was like, oh no, I'm supposed to get 2 only. Okay, I guess we get the air attack upgrades as well.
Yeah, it's basically the same over here. Like, you just get 1. You get +2 ranged attack, you get +1 Carapace, then you get +3. And then you're done. You don't need any more upgrades against Protoss because Carapace doesn't do anything against Protoss. Like, all it does, it makes, like, your roaches survive 1 more hit from a Zealot, but since the Zealot hits twice, it's just like the last one. So it's kind of weird.
Okay, so how are we feeling about no 4th base for Hurricane so far? For Impact so far?
I feel like he's playing these a little bit overconfident. I feel like holding an Adept timing attack doesn't mean you oftentimes have the upper edge for an attack, especially with shield overcharge being a thing. Let's not forget shield overcharge is a thing. So you kind of need a lot of Ravagers to break through. And right now he has 2.
3,
4.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Okay. He's getting to a good amount. And Hurricane, by the way, completely out of position.
Yeah, he didn't expect this because push out is a little bit late. Usually you want to get out a little earlier with your roaches, but now the shield overcharge is
Actually doing a
oh
lot.
my god. This is so disgusting.
It's actually doing so much. That Immortal should have been dead. Impact will still break through. Shield overcharge is done, but it was doing a lot actually. It is
Yeah,
a good
healing
thing.
those Archons, healing those Immortals.
Yeah.
In the end it was just way too much power by the Zerg player. But we saw the first glimpses of the power of the shield overcharge.
I feel like Hurricane was just a little bit too all over the place. He was just trying to split his army in 2, defend multiple positions, not get any scouting, still trying to be aggressive with a Warp Prism on the other side of the map. He was just trying to do too many things at once after a failed timing attack. I mean, you should probably focus a little bit more on defense.
Yeah. So everything started with Hurricane not making the Glaive Adept build work out.
Yeah, it can happen. Like, Impact had a very good defense, at perfect scouting. We were talking about the scouting, and having that good timing on a scouting on a new map, which is a very big one, is pretty nice. Also, I kind of dislike Glaive Adept builds on very big maps, because I think it kind of gives it a little bit away too fast. It's not a build that it's supposed to eat. A lot of time after it gets scouted, it is supposed to eat basically instantly as your opponent is scouting it. So,
Yeah.
like,
It's hard because
even those 5 to 10 seconds means another larva cycle, and it makes a difference.
Yeah, I agree. It's super hard though, because like on those big maps, even if you manage to hit at the right time, the distance between the third base where Hurricane was hitting and the main base where you want to shade to make the shape work is so huge
Yeah.
that you're probably just getting stuck somewhere in the middle.
Yeah,
And then there's a lot of circling, and
that can also
you're
be
like,
hidden in very different spots. So
please don't kill me. And the Zerg is Arrgh!
So we have another Zerg versus Protoss. It's going to be Zaun versus Impact. But before we get into that, guys, just want to talk a little bit about one of our wonderful sponsors. Of course, I'm talking about G Fuel, official drink of esports. So they're making also a new flavor, of course, for their energy drinks. It's going to be G Fuel Bubblegum. So zero sugar, of course, energy drink with vitamins, antioxidants, everything you need to be energized for your gaming session, for your sports session, for your walk in the park, for whatever you need for your studying session. And of course, doing also with taste and getting zero sugar from it and getting your vitamins from it. It's just great products upon great products, and I just wish I was in NA just to get some. I've had some in my gym. They're exporting some of it, but yeah, it's quite the good stuff, guys. So hats off to G Fuel for making so many good flavors, so much new stuff basically every month, and keeping up esports with energy drinks and everything the gamers and streamers and casters need. So also another little thing that I really want to show up by going onto my screen. So we have the match arena over here. Sadly, all of the codes have already been used. Well, sadly, gladly, all of the codes have been used, guys. But you can also buy the replay packs of the whole tournament for just $5, which will be added entirely to the prize pool of the tournament, which is great. So make sure you get over here, buy those replay packs, study those great players, their mistakes and their great builds as you've seen in the first series of today, and just also reward those players for their efforts, as well as a couple quests you can do to increase the prize pool, of course. Everything will be going into the pockets of the players, of course. So we have the first map for Zaun versus Impact, and I'm surprised it's going to be Eisen Chrome.
Yeah, I'm surprised we see this map so much.
Yeah.
I guess it's relatively vanilla of a map, so all the pro gamers will just choose it directly because you kind of know what you're getting into. It's not too crazy, it's just the right amount of crazy.
I really think it's a very weird map, but I will get into that after the introductions. Spawning in the top right hand corner as the blue Protoss, after our long series against Dream, he's advanced to the winner match. Playing for Alpha X, it is Zaun.
And spawning in the bottom left corner, who just beat the Hurricane himself, it's Impact. Okay, so Zaun was like, okay, the natural is pretty wide open. Just like
Oh, it is.
Impact's chest.
Oh.
Impact didn't really respond except rolling his face across the keyboard.
Interesting banter, I'd say. So, you were talking about this map being kind of standard, but I see so much crazy stuff going on here. Like, if you go into my camera, like, this is one of the weirdest things I've ever seen in a map of StarCraft, to be honest.
You mean the
This
watchtower?
Yeah, the watchtower next to the chasm, next to a ramp with a rock choke point, 2 ramps, and you're in the middle, you can't walk past because there are rocks.
I imagine this being super nice for mech. You just place like 3 tanks on that watchtower, and everything that tries to run by gets grilled.
Yeah, but then you cannot even move through there because, like, getting past the chasm makes you walk for like 10 seconds. The distance is huge.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah,
But on the
it's
other
just
side,
nuts.
if you think about it, the 4th base is super open, right?
Yeah,
And the 5th base is super exposed as well.
Yeah.
So you kind of need the space, like those run times. So run bys of any kind are not completely broken. What's that?
it's an Ursidon.
And did we have that on any other map?
No. I feel
I
like
feel
there
like-
is a Zerg mission in the campaign that in which you have to kill those Ursidon. There are like colonies of Ursidon that you have to kill. Because otherwise, like, they have 5 seconds and they just start getting into your base and killing everything. It's the first mission you can make roaches. And it's on an icy planet.
Okay. I have to confess, I never played the campaign
Oh,
myself.
come on. Why no one plays the campaign? Like, I've been playing the campaign since I was like a baby, basically.
So I
Like-
played the StarCraft 1 campaign, but only after I started playing StarCraft 2 and the ladder of StarCraft 2.
I finished StarCraft campaign for the first time, aged 9, with a laptop without a mouse, like using the pad of the laptop.
Nice. Oh my god. You're the real MVP.
Yeah, I was like a wonder child. Then I just lost my way.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I couldn't even imagine playing StarCraft like that.
Maybe I should have kept playing Brood War instead of playing this mess StarCraft 2 is, you know? But anyway, like, this is EVP, of course. Yeah, we not talked about it because we already know it's going to be Adepts, guys. Like, let's all be honest. We all knew this was going to be Adepts. It's always
So,
Adepts.
Sound now trying what Hurricane could not do.
And Impact kind of didn't scout this. I think he kind of knows he has 1 less Queen compared to before, and he has way less Lings than he had. So he needs to skip a couple injects, but he already has 6 roaches on the way. I have really a hard time thinking that this will work.
Yeah, I don't think it'll work neither. But we'll see, maybe Zaun can just outmaneuver Impact a little and try to get those shades in.
I would like
Okay.
him not to commit too much into this. Like, I love that he's making Stalkers and Immortals back home. Yeah, well, not back home. Stalkers are just right here. Yeah, he's already backing off from this. He kills 1 Overlord and he's ready to drop just with these Stalkers. He has 1 Immortal already. I just love how he's playing this. Impact acknowledged it a long time ago, and he's just getting his upgrades, +1 meta. He's getting Overlord speed. He's getting his lair already. But
Oh, do you think Impact is aiming for those Overlord drops with Banelings? because
I mean, it is a possibility. It is a possibility. It's not the first thing I was thinking about. Oh my god, he commits with the shades on top of the roaches. What is this?
Ayo.
Oh, recall needs to be issued. That was a mistake.
This is not it. That's what Impact said.
Oh. Well, it wasn't.
Okay.
So Impact again is making quite a lot of units right now. His Painliness is almost done, but he's not getting ranged upgrades. He's getting meta.
So he's still mixing in some drones here and there, so I don't think we will see a big all-in. But
But he's getting to that stage though. He's just making so many units.
You're right. And with those melee upgrades, he's just going to shred through everything. They are not done yet though, so
Neither
maybe
is
wait
Bailey's
a little.
Ooh,
On the other
Bailey
side.
still get good connections, but over here, Sound is still sending a lot of units, reinforcing his location with more resonating glaze adepts. This is lovely from Sound, but his immortals are very, very important. Banelings get very good connections, those queens just helping everything survive, and Sound's army is basically no more. That wasn't what I was expecting.
Please stop.
Oh.
Please stop bouncing.
The War Prism barely survives. 2 immortals will be saved. But
Bounce
Sound.
those immortals sound like you never bounced before.
Oh, this is looking very rough. Impact right now, getting Baneling speed, making more units, sending them through the map. He has the upgrades for his melee units. Now Shield Overcharge really needs to do a miracle.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Here it is. And as soon as it starts, Impact decides to withdraw, and that's the biggest counter to Shield Overcharge. So if you were looking at the patch notes and saying, oh my god, Protoss is broken, Shield Overcharge is too strong, just don't fight next to it.
Okay, this is too much inside knowledge. I can't translate that.
Oh, okay.
It's something about the skill of juggling or shield overcharge, but I'm not quite sure.
Okay. It's fine. Well, Impact as a gigantic army right now. He has so many Ravagers. This force field has been great, but Sound is eating too many vials. He's going to eat so many Banelings as well. His army is falling down to pieces. And Impact does it again. With just a big old all-in. At the 9 minutes mark, just after holding the Adept Bush. Probably Sound wasn't paying enough attention to the game against Hurricane, because he kind of almost did the same mistakes. GG gets called. Impact 1 game away from qualifying to the playoffs. So
looking at that end, it kind of looked like a Protoss mission where at the end the Zerg units just flood in. You tried something, it didn't quite work, and then the whole power of the swarm hits you and just presses you against the wall. And you have nowhere to go.
Yeah, it was rough. It was kind of rough. Like, I kind of have to question some of Sound's decisions in this game. I feel like, oh, this map. Finally. I kind of have to question some of his decisions, because I think, like, going for the all-in at that stage, soon after getting with the Adepts, was quite of a step too forward in that direction, because you know your opponent is just going to make a lot of units at that stage. I still feel like holding later on against the upgraded army would have been very hard, but maybe just a little bit of harassment here and there would have worked better for him than just a straight-on assault. Especially in that choke point.
Maybe splitting up your adepts and the warp prism, going for the main with the
Yeah.
warp prism, trying to force him to split his army. That could have worked, but the way he played it, Impact was just too much on it. He had too many units, and ultimately he was able to defend very well and then put on the counter pressure.
Yeah, I agree. But a new game has formed, and let's see what will happen here. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Pillars of Gold is the blue Protoss player. It is Sound.
And spawning in the top right corner, representing Team LP, it's the red Zerg player currently leading 1-0. It is Impact.
So I have to say, oh yeah, please translate.
Okay, so Zaun was just like, oh no, this map. It's a Zerg map.
Yeah,
You can't block anything.
yeah, exactly.
Oh, taking a third base on this map is just horrifying. Okay, you take the base on the top, right?
Yeah, you do.
Your natural is so exposed. Your third base, try blocking any paths. Try it, I dare you. Go for the low ground base. Everything is just streaming in from high grounds. You will take horrible fights. Your natural is exposed again.
So, I have to agree that this is a incredibly Zergy map, but I just love it so much. Like, this feels so much like a breed between Kairos Junction, Cerulean Fall, and a Brood War map that I don't really remember the name right now. But it has also these like corner double bases on the high ground that oftentimes those bases are so good that the players in Brood War take them as their third.
Yeah.
Because they're so
Yeah.
easy to defend. So,
Because you have the high ground, you have the choke points which are
Yeah.
easily defended. The thing is, on
of
this
course, in
map,
Brood
I
War,
feel like
it works way more. Like choke points in Brood War are just a nightmare. Like,
engaging to high ground with the debuff on
with
on your
with the
hit
miss
percentage.
Chance. Yeah, you
Oh my
30% miss chance.
I feel like on this map you need to expand to the high ground though, because if you expand to the low ground, you're just going to get hit from the high ground over and over again.
Yeah,
The-
it's exactly like Cerulean Fall, right? Like the same was happening for Cerulean Fall. Every player was just expanding on the high ground, but I feel like it was on the opposite side. Like the third base on the high ground was on the linear pattern, not on the triangular one. So it was slightly easier to defend, and also the ranks were way closer. The reason why I said it is a breed between Kairos Junction and Cerulean Fall is because it mixes the concept of Cerulean Fall of a lot of ramps, a lot of way to actually go wide on the map rather than go straight at your opponent, with these kind of wide open areas that instead resemble a lot of Kairos Junction layout, especially the middle of the map. Like it reminds me a lot of Kairos Junction.
So we will be seeing the 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 glaive build once again.
Yeah, it
Let's
is always
see if-
that build. Like talking about the build orders in a ZVP before the 430-minute mark is just useless. It's just going to be adepts.
Well, we've seen Zest go for a lot of Dark Shrines and DT play recently, so maybe we'll see a slight switch of meta here.
Yeah,
But
he invented this build, and even he is fed up by it. Like,
Okay.
That's a whole other
So,
level, right?
so Impact already adding those roaches in. He has a lot of links, so I don't think there will be any chance for Zaun to fight this. He still pushes in onto the creep a little bit. I'm interested how easy those adepts can clean up the creep. Because
Yeah,
if we
it
think
is
of
light.
the balance changes, creep is now light. Therefore, your adept should deal extra damage. On the last map, he did fight one of the morphing creep tumors with one of the adepts, which didn't quite pay off that much. The queens and links are out of position. Those adepts will get the shade onto the third base, will shade out, take out some mining time, which is nice. The other side, some stalkers and the warp prism were able to pressure the main a little bit, maybe take off an overlord. Let's see.
By the way, Zaun messed up his wall. I just want to see. Oh my god, this warp prism! Oh, it will go down. So will one stalker.
Oh, that BM.
Oh.
That little bit of sauce.
Cute. Impact.
Okay, so Zaun deciding to take the base on the low ground.
That is
But
interesting. Why did he do that?
I don't know.
Just because he's farther away?
I guess you can kind of try to wall off on the right side of the base and keep your army in between your natural and your third base. But even then, it seems so wide open that you need how many? 4 gates on the right side? On the top side, the army would just get surrounded like crazy. I'm worried here for Zaun.
Impact is making so many units again. It's basically doing the same thing it did in game number 1. This time Zaun will not grow greedy into an aggressive push. Really?
Oh,
Please
Willy.
don't. Please don't. No, Zaun. That is not a good idea. Oh, this map is big. This map is very big. Well, not big. It's just very wide. It's not big.
Okay, get those overlords. Hope you.
Oh, he doesn't have to. Okay, he gets them still.
Okay. Almost a supply block for Impact.
Well, at this stage of the game, it basically counts as a supply block, but Impact just had 2 more overlords in the making.
Nice pop speeds right there.
Great. The Warp Prism is there to reinforce his location, and there are so many sentries. Zaun is doing something better this game, and these are sentries. Look at these force fields. Those were
so
a
beautiful.
sight of beauty.
And the Blink Stalkers behind it just picking away at those Banelings. The Banelings do not quite yet have Baneling speed. Neither do they have the +1 melee attack upgrade. So Zaun picking the perfect timing to move in with his boss.
And now that Blink is done, he can basically retreat to safety even if he's caught out of position. With so many Stalkers, Impact really needs to catch his opponent with his pants
Impact
down.
going for the big surround. Nice force fields will hit and take
That's
down
what I was
the...
talking about. This Blink was beautiful from Zaun, finding himself in a tough spot and just getting the heck out of there with good force fields. Impact will be the one getting onto the aggression right now, and this is where the problems could start for Zaun. Defending on this map looks to be quite a difficult thing. Oh, Impact is supply block.
Nice. That's the thing you want to hear whenever the Zerg is trying to all in.
Ooh, okay,
Baneling drop into the main.
Well, there are not a lot of probes into the main, so it will not deal a lot of damage. They also have +1 Banelings, but they will not one-shot probes. Not quite. The main army of Zaun is quite strong, but force fields over here are no use. Impact is going to... Okay, those force fields though were very good use. all of the sentries will fall down to a bunch of banelings. But those banelings will not do much against those stalkers. It's just Ravagers standing sound, falling down in supply, but his army is quite capable of dealing with those Ravagers. Those battles will never hit again. Meanwhile, on the other side, adepts in the main, adepts in the natural, drones dying left and right as well as queens. And Zaun is getting the supply advantage. He's fighting back. Those lanes cannot do much. They will get those adepts down, but not before dropping more.
Oh my
rows.
god, those links ran back too early. Two more drones will fall on the cost of those links' impatience.
And that's a bad spot for Impact to be in. I like that he got the busy in the top left. He was probably listening to the stream, right?
Yeah, probably. Well, if I was a pro gamer, I would listen to casters all day long because they know best.
Of course, of course. Especially when they make the wrong calls. Over here, Zaun is making definitely the right one, blinking forward like farting taught the Protoss players to do, and destroying the army of Impact. This is going to be a tight score because Impact is losing his third, he's losing his rally point, and Zaun has so many stalkers. GG gets called. We're going to ace match again. And I have to say this game was incredibly dominated by Zaun. Let's not forget he lost the Warp Prism, he failed a timing attack with the Depths, and yet he was just basically always ahead. Crazy.
It's amazing to me how he managed to turn this game into his favor.
Right.
Getting that snipe on the 4th base was amazing. The force
Right.
fields were just so on point,
And
and then
so
he
many
went
goalless.
back, had the economical advantage. He denied a lot of lava as well for Impact's all in to profit from. And at that third base, he just had those force fields in the nick of time. He had the photon overcharge, the shield battery overcharge, and then the Immortals and Blinkstalkers did their thing, and they did it well. Man, that was a game.
It was a great ult. It was just like losing, even after losing like 9 sentries to 2 banelings, it was just so much going in his favor anyway. And I love that we're going on Submarine for game number 3. So
Will
spawning
you introduce?
in the top left hand corner as the blue Protoss player, hailing from Korea, playing for Alpha X, just tying up the score after a beautiful map, beautiful game on Pillars of Gold. It is Zaun.
And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, it's the red Zerg. He already defeated the Hurricane. Will he be able to weather this storm? And the pause.
It is opposed Impact. What's the issue?
His nose is itchy.
That's weird. Well, Zaun is not a ref.
Okay, so back to the red Zerg who managed to weather the storm of Hurricane before. Will he weather this storm? It is Impact.
So, have you seen this map yesterday? What did it ref?
Apparently it's still super itchy.
What does it even mean?
Well, I guess he has to scratch his nose or something. Ah! Okay, so he's sneezing all the time.
Oh, okay.
And somebody cursed on him.
Oh, okay. That makes a lot of sense, of course.
Oh, you don't know this? one like the saying that if you sneeze, somebody was talking about you?
I didn't know about it. No, it's not a thing in
Okay,
Italy.
so I think it's one in the English culture, because I heard about it a lot in TV shows that come from America. Where when somebody talks about you and talks stupid stuff about you, you will sneeze, and it will tell you, somebody just talked about me.
That is very weird. Like, we have a similar thing. Like, if the time is like 11:11 or 12:12 or 4:4 or stuff like that, it means that someone is thinking about you. But that's
We have
even
the same
more stupid.
thing, yeah.
Okay.
That thing we have as well. And everybody's like, what time is it? Oh, it's 10:09. Better wait 1 minute for waiting for somebody.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that is beyond stupid. And we also have this thing, like, if you say something at the same time as another person, you have to scratch your nose.
We have a game that if you say the same thing as another one says, you have to say a phrase, and then the other one can't say is not allowed to say anything unless you say their name.
That sounds funny. Wait, this
Yeah.
is not a depth, by the way. This is an oracle.
Oh.
On
get
Submarine,
some.
which is actually the shortest map of the pool. And by a far margin, like, Submarine is a very short map.
I kind of like Submarine though. Like okay, so
It's
what
another
I played
Kairos
on this.
Junction clone to me.
Yeah.
Like, this map is exactly like Kairos Junction. It just
what
has
I-
one less base.
What I played on this map was TVP, because I've been focusing on this a lot, and I tried myself on mech, and I feel like if you get those high grounds next to your third base, if you expand in a line, you're in such a good position to split the map and just put pressure onto the Protoss economy. It's insane. And I feel like if you play like this as a Protoss or Zerg player, just opting to get those high grounds, you will be able to get a lot of pressure onto your opponent and eventually expand behind it, because the high grounds are so far into your opponent's side of the map that getting that high ground will just leave all the space behind it for you to expand, spread creep, place pylons, all that stuff.
You know what? Another thing I really like I've seen a lot of very short maps that failed in something that I think is very important for a short map to be, which is having bases that are quite easy to defend. And yeah,
That Oracle!
That was clutch.
Oh my god, how much
That was
HP does it have?
4.
Oh my god!
That was clutch. Like, I was saying, like every single base on this map is pretty easy to defend.
Right?
And it's something that I very much like. Of course, like you were saying, you're still very much susceptible to harassment. Like Mutas, I love it. Oracles, Phoenixes, I absolutely love it. Even if it's a short map. Like, I think that Swarmos will be extremely unfair on this map. But even then...
Yeah, that could be the case. But at the same time, I feel like with force fields on this map, engaging a Protoss army will be super hard, because the Protoss will just always have those force fields, catch you in a choke, and then just murder your army, no matter which army you have.
Yeah, I agree. And by the way, Zaun has no clue this Spire is coming. Not yet, at least. He's seen a lot of gas. I love that he's wooling off his bird. The thing I was talking about, those bases being easy to defend, is also about that Terran players and Protoss players can wall off this easily. That's so many adepts right now. And you know what? With Resonating Glaives and Stargate units, this may be a 5-bad thing we're witnessing right now, because Sound is taking so much damage. Of course, these adepts will not be able to fight those roaches head on. And how many drones have died this game? 23. 23 drones have died this game. Like, Impact has the economy to make 3 Mutalisks. 3.
Nice. That's what you want to hear as a Protoss player.
Yeah, and Zaun has already a Stargate out. He is already making his first Immortal to get a ground army. And Impact just has a bunch of roaches.
Those roaches will not help him on this map though. With all the choke
won't.
points and the Immortal already out.
Put the pylon block on the fourth base for Impact.
Oh, this is so cute. Oh my god.
Oh, poor roaches trying to fight that cannon. Zaun saved the gateway though. You have a ship battery there. Why didn't you save the gateway?
Right, and you can even overcharge it.
Yeah. Come on. Shield overcharge is OP. Okay, so how many minutes? 6 are out, so enough to one-shot probes. But Zaun is looking mighty prepared for it.
Yeah, I also think it's very smart by Impact to not just fly in with those 3 mutas he had
wouldn't
at the
have
start.
accomplished much.
Yeah, the only thing you accomplish really is you make your opponent see what tech you chose.
Yeah.
And now the Mutalisks will come in and get some probe kills out.
Yeah, that was actually a little bit more than I was expecting. Like, those mutas are really doing some work.
The killed worker count getting up to 10 workers, 11, 12.
Wait, those mutas are doing a lot. Final photon cannon here in the natural will stop the mutas from getting too much. But Zaun doesn't look like he cares a lot. He's just going through the map, and to be fair, the army of Impact is not that far away from being able to hold this.
Well, we will have to see how those Immortals will do, and the choke point here is beautiful. Like, there's no way on this Earth that Impact is going to be able to engage this. Now Zaun is moving into the high ground, a little bit more open space, but
you know what
now
I
the
love
oracles.
about Zaun this game? You kill so many queens every single time that these oracles right now can have 3 shots. Of course, those banelings got some pretty sick shots, and the Warp Prism not helping with the juggling of the Immortals. Zaun stepping a little bit too forward, just thinking, okay, I won the game, while in reality, as I was saying, Impact was not that far from having what he needed to hold. I feel like Zaun a little bit underestimated what his opponent had, but he's still gonna get a lot of damage. He's gonna get +2 ground weapons. Oh my god, the Warp Prism doesn't
it
survive.
died. Oh no.
Close one. Not close enough. But just look at the losses. Like 34 drones, 5 queens. Like, that's a lot of production. Like, Zaun can replace his army quite quickly. Those mutas, still 5 of them, still able to one-shot a probe. But right now, like, getting on the side of the map of Zaun is just suicidal, basically.
I agree. Zaun is already setting up those stasis traps to ward off anything that could come his way and that could
10
kill him.
more mutas. These I like for Impact. That's a good move. Of course, once Storm is done, I don't think Impact has a comeback once Storm is done, unless he deals a crazy amount of damage right now. But he has a lot of mutas.
Keep in mind, neither of those players have the best economy behind this.
Yeah.
Sound is at 59 workers, Impact as well, and as a Zerg player on four bases, I can imagine better things than 59 workers.
Yeah, definitely. And like Impact is not really making drones. Like it's basically building an army, try to kill his opponent, and if it fails, he will GG. Oh my god. Arkan, no! Ugh. The Arkan could have done so much right there. The Phoenixes are in position to hold these. There are Skulkers as well. Those mutas really
the
not
sheet
getting
battery overcharge!
Yeah, not the best one I've ever seen, and I've seen 3. But still.
And that's a lot.
Yeah. Those Phoenixes will be able to keep those mutas at bay. It's just outstanding how much Phoenixes counter mutas, by the way.
It's almost disgusting, right?
Yeah.
Imagine they had the range upgrade as
Oh my
well.
god, these engagements!
Oh my god,
so many
big engagement
Banelings!
of a lot of Banelings were caught in the stasis trap.
But the army of Impact is very strong right now. Of course, these Banelings basically acting like force fields right now. Stormy is finally done, and that's a turning point. Banelings trying to get on top of the Stalkers, they would get a lot of great connections. And right now, I feel like those Banelings has basically done the cut for Impact. Right now, Sound has one Arcan trapped into his main, which never could have fought. He's now recalling it into the fight. Of course, the hold will
No, it's
be
trapped on
there.
the other side of the Nexus.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh.
That's unbelievable. Just kill the pylon already. This ult, by the way, was pretty sick from Sound. It was just had enough stuff to ult these Phoenixes need to cancel those lifts. One of the Ravagers will go down, but Impact is ready for round number 2. He's not replacing any of his lost drones whatsoever. Okay, the Pylon will finally die. The Archon will finally be free. But fighting there without a lot of force fields will be very difficult for Zaun, especially with 4 queens with plenty of energy screaming in. It's time
And keep
for
in
the
mind,
villains.
he does not have any storms right now, and the army of Impact is streaming onto Zaun's army. The Banelings got some nice connects out, but I don't think he really needs them with this amount of Ravager.
Shield overcharge will be used to keep those Stalkers alive, but there's just so many Ravagers. Impact has done it. He qualifies for the playoffs, while Zaun will need to play one more game to get through. And by the way, Impact is still in the game killing stuff. Huh?
I love this.
Okay.
You know,
He left.
back in the days when innovation was new to StarCraft 2, you know what he would do? He would just continue playing until his build order or whatever he imagined in his head was completed, and then he would jump off.
I guess it makes quite a lot of sense. Like, it's like practice, right? But I mean, in a tournament environment, that's pretty BM. Like, so Dream versus Hurricane. Some more TVP action after the first game that you missed today.
Oh.
And Hurricane was not looking sharp in his game versus Impact. I
Well,
know
maybe
Impact
his-
was looking good, but
Maybe his his PVT will look better than his PVZ.
oh, I
We'll
hope
see.
so. Like Dreams, Terran versus Protoss is pretty damn good. I can tell you that.
Oh man. Yeah. Yesterday I actually rewatched some replays of Dream against Stats. We had that show match, best of
Yep.
9, and it went the whole 9 maps. And I
Yeah.
was like, oh my god.
It was a great one, and like Dream is very good in this matchup. Like I will go as far as to say it's probably his best matchup. I'm not too sure if it is stat wise, but I feel like he has a very good Liberator control. He has a lot of very aggressive early builds that just work wonders against Protoss, especially in the current map pool. So I'm curious to see what he would bring to the table. I'm thinking he will play pretty aggressively. That's something I can almost be sure of. But let's not forget those two players are in the same team and they're practice partners. So things can get very interesting.
You're right. Do you think we'll see big mind games like showing one thing but actually going for a completely different thing?
A lot of things could happen here.
You know what I would love to see? I would love to see the proxy Dark Shrine build that Zest pulled out against Innovation.
A man can dream, right?
Yeah.
No pun intended. It's going to be hard to stay away from that name, but yeah. So we're going on Submarine again. And I'm going to call it, this is going to be some kind of bunker rush. With maybe a bunch of tanks, like 3 Rexes or something to the likes of it. I feel it's going to be something like that. But by the way, spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Submarine is the player from Brave Star Gaming and from Korea. It is Dream.
And spawning on the left top corner, it is the Storm himself. It is Hurricane.
So 2 pretty aggressive players on a very short map.
Oh, this can only go one way, right?
Yep. Definitely can.
You feeling a Protoss cheese as well? Or
no, I'm just feeling the bunkers on next to the natural of Hurricane. That's what I'm feeling. And a couple
that'd be
tanks.
super fun as well. Oh,
yeah.
The block of.
This is going to be a second Rux before command center.
No, there's a second gas already. I think he's going for a factory, and then the starport. I think we'll see the 1-1-1. Oh, is it okay?
Yeah, I didn't see the second gas. It is weird. Well, he's definitely waiting to make a factory. Like 150, here it is.
Okay, so 1-1-1 coming out from Dream. He went for that Marine opener.
Yeah, just did the nice scouting, I guess.
Well, he's getting the Reaper now.
Yeah, I feel like the Marine first is a good choice.
I feel like this is already the first mind game, because as Hurricane, you will not expect the Reaper to come after the Marine. Usually, you go Reaper Marine, and the probe will basically see, okay, it's a Marine. I kind of know what's coming, and now he's chasing the probe with the Reaper, and okay, just let it stay alive, Dream. It's only a probe, right?
Oh, the probe is the strongest units in the game. They can make cannons, so they're OP. Right.
Almost got into the main base.
Almost. It was close.
Almost.
So, what do we have here? Dream looks just like a player that has been looking through a Terran guide and skipped to the 5-minute mark to see what the player had. It just made absolutely no sense for him to have this factory this early if he's just going for a Widowmine drop, right?
I agree. Like, what's happening here? Did he think of going for the new Widowmine with the invisibility after the shot?
It is a possibility. I don't feel like it makes a lot of sense if you don't have a strong army to support it, because those Widowmines can just be killed pretty straight away since there is a robotics facility already out.
Especially
but you can deny a lot of mining, that's true.
Especially if you want those Widowmines, you need an armory. And we don't have an armory.
No, we don't. We have 2 more Rexes. So Dream is basically just cutting some corners here and there to get stuff a little bit faster. Hurricane playing a very defensive game this far, which is something I was not expecting. 2 probes will go down. It's 1 probe more than I was expecting, to be honest.
Oh my
shit.
god.
7
Getting 4
probes down.
probe kills there.
It's 6. Yeah, it's 7 probes down. Oh gosh.
That was not the connect Hurricane was hoping for.
Yeah, that wasn't the cleanest defense I've ever seen to Widowmine drop. But let's leave it at that.
Oh, is Hurricane going to block the choke into the main with those force fields? What are we going for here?
A Guardian Shield in the main, of course, a classic, right?
Who doesn't know that one?
Yeah. Where is the Liberator, by the way? Did he cancel the
Another
Liberator?
4 probes have fallen on the other side.
Yeah, Widowmine drops are pretty good if your opponent is not looking. The Warp Prism falls. She gets called. Goodbye, Warp Prism.
Well, that was a fast one. I know we said they are going to play super aggressive, but I didn't expect this to end as soon as it did.
I mean, it went out fast for the wrong reasons, right? Like, he lost 12 probes to 2 Widowmines. He lost the Warp Prism to 1 Viking with his own harassment dealing absolutely 0 damage. I think he killed 1 Marine or something.
Oh no.
And he had
That has to hurt.
basically 0 production. Yeah, I was telling you that Hurricane wasn't looking sharp, but this was beyond embarrassing, I feel. Like, this game was just mistake after mistake after mistake. And Dream wasn't even playing a clean game himself. He just happened to deal a lot of damage with his Widowmines, and that's all, basically.
Hurricane also the one who didn't make it into this season's GSL.
Yeah.
So maybe we are looking at
At a slouch. Yeah, he's quite a slouch.
yeah.
It's too bad. I really like Hurricane as a player. He used to be one of my favorite Protoss players.
I remember back when he made it into the round of 8 in the Super Tournament, right?
Yeah, I remember
It
the one.
was
The one classic
almost-
one, right?
I think it was last year's Super Tournament Season 1,
Okay.
where there were like 1 million Protoss players and only Gumio.
Yeah. That was great. Spotting
Well,
in the top right hand corner, 1 match away from getting his rematch versus Sound. It is playing for Bravestar Gaming Dream.
and currently down 1-0 in the losers bracket, it is Bravestar Gaming's very own Storm. It is Hurricane. Imagine you have a Hurricane. Like, you go out with it, you go play with it. It's just like a little windy, but
We already
Other
give
one.
them names, so we're not far from them, right?
right? What name would you give Hurricane? Like, with his play style and all?
You know, that's a tough question. Like,
Right?
how will they name an hurricane?
I guess you just name it by your wife or something.
Yeah, like, that is a good way to get a divorce, but aside from that, I don't think it accomplishes much more.
By the way, we see the same build as we
Yeah.
saw in the last game by Dream.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it, but I really think it is broken. And not in the complementary way. I still don't really feel like it has a much reason for existing. Like getting this factory like 15 to 20 seconds earlier, what does it accomplish?
You know what it looks like? It looks like a TVT build. You get the
It really
gas
does.
first,
It
you
really
get the
does, yeah.
barracks, you pull 3 workers out of gas, and you get the command center.
Yeah, but
I
you
feel
get
like-
the second gas because you want to get more Reapers early on.
Yeah.
And
Well-
Dream is getting a reactor.
Maybe he's adding some Reapers afterwards.
I really doubt that. Okay, so Hurricane is going for a Stargate this time, which I think it's interesting. Like, on this map? Like, I can see it being good for the same reason Stargate was good on Cerulean Fall, which is places that
Oh,
are
no.
pretty far. Wait, his Reaper is already getting 2 kills. Hurricane,
Oh
what are you
no,
doing?
don't.
Oh, okay, he has to lift the Reaper, which is never what you want. It's going to add a second Phoenix, by the way, so it's probably going to get an 4 before starting to head on into other tech. But Dream already has a starport, he's already making a Viking, and that's where his build is kind of making sense. His first starport unit is going to be so much faster than you can expect, basically, right?
Yeah. Still, I don't know if this is if this is a good build order at all.
Yeah, I
I
don't
guess you
think it's
get a
worth
lot
it.
of tech very early on, and if you know the Protoss player is going to play super aggressive, this might work out really nice. Nice connect on that Phoenix. I'm still disappointed Widow Mines don't one-shot Phoenix, by the way.
They one-shot Oracles though, which is far more than enough to me. Like,
Come on, those 4 hit points or what that Phoenix has.
it's,
You could have killed that one as well.
the problem is that Phoenixes don't have a lot of shields. Like, if they had more shields and less health, they would be one-shot, but they just don't have a lot of shields. It kind of makes sense because if Phoenixes had a lot of shields, they would be quite oppressive because of the way they work. Just
Yeah.
wait until the shield goes down, then you fly away and you just dealt a million damage. But yeah, it's just about that really. While the Oracle is quite the contrary, it's supposed to be a little bit more.
Oh my god, the next
Ooh.
Widow Mine shot takes down the Phoenix that was already super low.
And it saves the Viking, by the way, which is a pretty big deal.
This is looking very good for Dream right now. He did get those kills with the Reaper on some probes. He did get the early scout off. His Widow Mines were placed just the right way. He did not go for the Widow Mine drop this game, which is something I really like about his playstyle. He just decided, okay, you're going Phoenix. I'm not going to get in anyways. I'll just get the Viking. I'll spread my Widow Mines and then I'll be super safe.
I feel like there's a lot you can accomplish by just playing it safer, as you were saying. Like right now, his tech is looking very nice. Hurricane, of course, is going to have his first Colossus, extended thermal lens. But this is not a map you dislike going into late game as the Terran. I feel.
Oh,
You can get very easy concaves.
I agree. Still, I feel like the natural for Dream is so open to Zealot run-bys of any kind. Especially since he didn't build a wall off. Like with the wall off,
Yeah.
I can kind of see it happening. But without that one, this is going to be hard. But he's pushing across the map either way. Let's hope that +1 and range upgrade for those Colossi will be done. But I don't see Hurricane chrono boosting those two.
Well, even then, it's just one Colossus out. extended thermal lance can make a difference, but it's more about reactions at this stage. Like, the army of Hurricane is not really strong right now.
Okay, so I was already kind of hoping for Dream to just drop on top of those Colossi and to focus them down. But he decides to go for a Widow Mine drop right now.
Oh, yeah, this Medivac will not.
The water pistol! Spray him!
I can't believe this Medivac survived, by the way. Oh, well, Phoenixes! Oof.
Oh my god.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Goodbye, Medivac. So, how do you feel about drops in this map? Because I really feel they're not good. Like, it's not a very easy to drop map.
You have a lot of dead airspace at the main base, which is kind of good for drops. On the other hand, I don't see you going for that one, since there's a lot of space before that space where stalkers can wait, where you can just build up your vision with pylons and so on and so forth. Also, if you decide to take the high ground 3rd and 4th, that fourth base will pretty much cancel out all the drops into your main.
That's what I was feeling like. This is not a good terror map.
No, it doesn't feel like it.
Yeah, I was also thinking about good tank spots, but I really struggle to find any besides behind those rocks.
So if you get to the point where you have the high ground bases secured,
yeah,
you can force the split of the map pretty easily with tanks, but you have to get there first.
Yeah.
And that's super hard on this map, because the 3rd base is so far away from your main when it comes to walking distance, and your natural is so exposed. If you go for the high ground 3rd, it's a tough call, that's for sure.
Another very tough call is what to do next for both those players. Of course, Shockwave EMP is on the making for Dream, and the first Disruptors are bound to be out for Hurricane. But it's not going to be easy to defend all bases at the same time. Hurricane caught with his fence down over here. Dream is aiming forward on top of the whole army of Hurricane.
Really nice connect by that Disruptor.
Overstepping quite a lot. Disruption Novas eating strong, as well as EMPs, but Dream can replace his army a little bit quicker than his opponent, and he's doing exactly that. Ooh, Widow Mine! 6 probes down over here in the bottom right. But in the end, Dream can just fly back home, lick his wounds, and be ready to hit again at a further stage. So,
I really like the positioning of that observer. It sees everything.
And it has been there for, I think it was like 5 minutes or so.
Right?
Yeah, it's been there for such a long time. Okay, Dark Templars are out. Oh, EMPs. EMPs are pretty good, huh? Goodbye, Dark Templars.
But Dark Templars will be pretty good as well as soon as
Shadow Stride
Hurricane gets that Shadow Stride out, and Dream decides to move across the map, because moving across the map is just horrible to do if your opponent has DTs in the place.
Ooh, that EMP! Jeez. That's all of the army of Hurricane on this side. Those Colossi are really having a tough time against the Vikings, because Skulkers keep them alive, but the Disruptors are not able to get good shots. Extended Thermal Lance is dealing quite a lot of damage right now, and Dream is bound to lose many more of his units. Of course, his units are quite expendable, those Disruptors are not, and 2 of them have already fallen. Those Ghosts are not expendable at all, and they will barely survive. Just lift them into the Medivac. Dream, what are you doing?
Okay, at the same time, at the 3rd base of Hurricane, there was a small skirmish as well. Hurricane managed to defend that one, but this is not really what Dream was looking for. He did not really hit his 2-2 timing. He did fight with his army split. His Viking count was super low to begin with.
Yeah,
And with the micro of Hurricane, the Vikings just didn't do anything.
Okay, Dream is splitting up his army again, while Hurricane is kind of clumping next to the third of Dream, ready to take him into a beating. So yeah, Dream is quite off position. This could be quite deadly for the Terran player. He has the supply to actually deflect this. Meanwhile, here at the fourth base of Hurricane, or the third base of Hurricane, sorry, there is quite a healthy strike force, forcing a recall as well.
Oh, can you go for the surround? Ooh. Oh, he misses the surround, but in the main base, Dream is as well, with a ghost even, takes down the... Oh, he takes down the Dark Shrine.
So many probes down as well, with recall on cooldown. There is no way much can be done over here. Finally, the Colossi are back home, but Dream is eating the fifth. Dream is eating the third.
Dream just everywhere right now. He's really charging in on the fourth base as well. There is one Dark Temple and some Zealots, but the fourth base and the fifth base will fall.
And now the Vikings are getting shots at those Colossi. One of them will fall down, and the Disruptors will fall down with them as well. On the other side, one Dark Templar was trying to do wonders for Hurricane, getting a lot of workers. But in the end, the army supply of Dream is just a little bit too strong. With 2 Disruptors, 2 Colossi, Hurricane cannot be spread as Dream is. Dream needs just to commit into one fight. Dark Templars will be killed after a good place EMP, and another steam forward will get, with an EMP, a lot of those Stalkers out of the battle. This fight doesn't look very good for Dream at all. Right now a surround.
Side again, he is coming for the Colossi and he will get the match.
Dream outproducing his opponent, outsmarting his opponent, being everywhere just at the right time. And he's able to, I'd say, prove us that he's a very strong TVP player. And I like this match a lot. I wish I'd understand more about it. I think I will watch the replay of this match because I want to get a... I think I missed a couple things. I want to get a glimpse of the build orders a little bit more. Some things that happened here and there, because I think it was a highly tactical match. And as all highly tactical match, it tends to be very, very close. There were a couple of spots in which Hurricane could have won, but in the end I think Dream just outsmarted him.
Like the one time Dream decided to attack the third base of Hurricane, and Hurricane recalled one half of his army, but the second half was already on the way to the main base. Otherwise he could have tried to catch a good chunk of Dream's army between his 2 parts of Protoss units.
It would have been a very big deal for Dream losing so many units in that spot.
Yeah, and then just warping in units in the main base, Zealots and Dark Templars alike, might have done the job and prevented further damage from happening there.
Yeah.
But
it is a very tough call to make. It's not hard to react on the spot and do the right thing. But I think I agree with you. That would have been the better thing to do.
And that's what Dream was looking for, right?
Yeah.
He was looking to draw Hurricane apart. He first attacked down at the third base, then dropped in the main, and the fifth base was under attack as well. And in the end, Hurricane just couldn't deal with all the pressure and all the angles Dream was coming from.
Yeah. Well done by Dream. We're gonna have a rematch between Dream and Zound. Before heading into that, once again, guys, let's talk about G Fuel a little bit, one of our beautiful sponsors. The drink, the official drink of esports, ramping up your energy from 0 to 100. Super quick, sharpening your reflexes, making you more concentrated for your gaming session, studying session, working session, gym session, whatever you need it for. And I highly suggest their products. They're what you need to stay focused on the objective and get your victories on ladder, get your gains in the gym, and get your studies and job done as best as you can possibly do. So hats off to G Fuel for being such an amazing sponsor, and for bringing us such amazing products as well.
Well, and now we will bring one amazing product to you once again. It will be the PVT, and spawning as the Blue Protoss player on the map Submarine representing Alpha X. It is Zaun.
Bottom right hand corner instead, in the red, wearing the Terran clothes, playing for Brave Star Gaming. It is Dream, looking for his revenge. So, Submarine first again. More and more players are starting to get this map to a higher consideration. Do you think it's mostly because the bases are quite easy to defend?
I feel like that's one point, and the other point is all the other maps are so crazy.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
Like, would you really like to play on gold, on Pillars of Gold?
Yes, because I'm a good player.
Okay. I didn't say anything, but be aware when the Terran 2 base tank push hits, and you have no vision of the high ground, and all those tanks are just shelling at your natural. And
you probably weren't around here back when I played a lot. I'm not the kind of player that allows you to do that, because I tend to kill you before that happens. And
so more the no regret kind of guy.
Let's say I just have a small addiction to Nidus Worm. Like, I once went through this tournament and I lost at the second round, knocked into the lower bracket. I had like 11 matches. I won that tournament. I had 11 matches. In 9 out of 11 of them, I won with Nidus Worm.
Nice.
The other two, one I held a 4-gate, and the other I lost hard, like very hard.
When was that? Was that back when the Nidus Worm was a little bit ridiculous?
Oh, it was. I don't remember when it was. It was the same map pool with the. Do you remember the one map that had Amon on it?
Oh, Year Zero?
Yeah, Year Zero. Yeah, it was that map pool.
Oh. Back then, there was that match between Neep and
Solar?
Hydraling.
Oh, Hydraling. Okay, yeah.
Hydraling. And they were facing off on that map, and Hydraling posted in the Twitch chat, like before his matches started, I will go for a Link Queen Nidus Worm on this map, and on that other map I'll just do the Link Bus. And he did it, and he won.
Yeah, it is funny because that was the best map to do it, and it was that whole build of which I abused. I had like 80% CVP win rate. My CVP is ridiculous. I have like something like 11 cheese builds like proxy arch and stuff. Let's not talk about that. I'm a very bad person for that. And
very naughty, Zerg.
yeah, and that build that Linok made popular after winning against Trap in I think it was Katowice. Like, that build was so used by so many other players to gain victories against Stargate players that basically made Stargate bad. I love how this little thing of grass over here, after the alien attacked the adept, took fire and just burned down. It's a lovely little effect.
Oh, by the way, we will see the 4-gate blink out of zone on this map.
Going
And I'm
full
already
partying.
curious if Dream will be able to hold this off.
Well, just play like partying, right?
Yeah. Just play like partying.
Just don't talk like partying.
Well, depends on what you want to accomplish. But as of right now, he did kill the bunker. He did kill a couple of SCVs, and I feel like he will try to blink in once again. Pick off some more units.
The first unit to fall force down in the whole game. He's now blinking in and out of these bases with Marauders out. Of course, it's going to be a slightly harder, but this Burr Prism is just reinforcing the location more and more. Sound is looking quite strong today. What is this?
This build
Wow.
is Parting's legacy.
Yeah.
I will. Oh, it's
The
just
Burr
Parting,
Prism,
right?
like having 2 waves of blink in one is a pretty powerful thing.
Oh, at least he gets the observer. He gets the.
It's not a great thing. The War Prism still gives vision of the high ground. All the SCVs pulled into the fight. This is going to be GG very soon. Zaun did it. Parting's legacy is through. So many SCVs down, these Stalkers just refuse to die instead. Game 1 goes in for Zaun. And it's 1 game for qualifying into the playoffs as the 2nd place player of Group B, and that will be wonderful. Even though if he loses against Zest, I would love him to see him play against Zest.
Parting, what did you do to this matchup?
Oh.
Come on!
He just did what it was right.
Oh my god. That's easy for you to say as a Zerg player, but imagine being in the Terran's shoes.
Well,
you don't know if it's the 4-gate, the 3-gate.
I'm just
the
going to
2-gate
show
expand.
something. Like, I am a Zerg player at the heart, but I actually play random. So, yeah.
You did get a taste of this build yet?
Oh yeah, of course I did. Like, it's not the thing I like to do the most. I just like to go 9 Stalkers blink into Robotics Bay. That's the way I play the matchup. But I feel like it's very, very strong.
It is.
Of course, I'm not doing anything that isn't adepts against Zerg, because why would I bother? So that leaves me with the mirror.
The amazing thing about this build is it's not even fully all in, right?
Yeah,
you can't
it's
just take an expansion behind it and just kill 20 workers of you.
It's just a different way to approach the standard way of playing the matchup, with more commitment into Stalkers. But everything else is just pretty much the same. Like, you add 1 more gateway, I think, to the build order, and you make more Stalkers. But everything else is kind of the same level.
Yeah. Okay, let's jump into this map number 2 for the Deciders match. Spawning as the Blue Protoss player on Death Aura, it is Zaun.
Bottom right hand corner, the Red Terran player, 1 game away, 1 loss away from being eliminated from the tournament. Playing for Brave Star Gaming, it is Dream.
Okay, so Dream was just like, okay, to hold this, hold this build, you need a tank, right? Otherwise, you'll just die.
Yeah.
It's almost like, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
You build 4 gateways and then you go. And usually you win.
Like there was this thing that Teja was saying, like high level insights about the game, you know, high suggestions, and they were talking about this build, and he answered, just play like Maru, but only when he plays good. That's some high level tips over there.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
play like Maru when Maru loses, guys. That's
It's like
Teja
play
words.
like yourself when you're losing, but if you're winning, play like Maru
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah, those are Teja words, basically. He didn't talk a lot, but his talk was wise.
Okay, so we have not seen a second guess right away like we saw in the last games of Dream. He decided to edit after his factory was queued. And I'm curious if he's going to go for some Hellion drop, Hellion shenanigans overall. Because the factory and the reactor should finish at the same time. Okay, no.
It's not
We
going
would
to swap,
just
no.
see a standard game.
There is one alien in the making, but as you know, it's probably not going to be anything too aggressive. It could be 3 aliens dropped though, right?
Yeah, it could be, but I feel
Oh
like
my
that-
god!
Oh my
Okay,
god.
he didn't.
Why don't you just commit? Just commit.
I guess he was afraid of like something being there, maybe Widow Mines or anything. He still gets 1 Marine and an SCB right now. He still gets scouting and now recalls the attack. Oh, will it survive? Just barely. But yeah, that is not supposed to get anything at all, and he got 2 kills. So.
Yeah, getting
Oh,
that one
wait a-
SCV.
How did we lose? How did we miss this?
It's just Protoss disgust, that's all.
Dark Shrine Proxy, baby. Let's get it. Zaun mixing it up. He doesn't want to play another 21 minutes long game. Okay, this pylon will be scouted by Dream.
Will it?
Yeah,
Was
yeah,
it?
Yeah, it was scouted.
Okay.
Just barely, but it was scouted. Like, Zaun just needs to cancel this. He cannot keep it alive. The probe will also die. So Zaun doesn't really have a close position to warp in units. Walking through this map is harder than it looks, by the way. There are a bunch of
Oh, and
checkpoints.
Dream is already scouting for proxies,
Yeah.
looks like.
Like, that proxy will never be fun. Like, this is like an entire section of this map that looks like it should be missing. Like, it shouldn't exist. Like, this alcove. Why does it exist? Like, imagine
Oh, is
just
it a
being
drop
straight.
into the main?
Yeah, it is a drop into the main. One
Nice.
Raven is on the way as well. Zaun is just barely not in vision of this. He has 2
And he
stalkers
doesn't
out.
see anything. Oh,
Shield
those Hellions
overcharge.
one-shot the probes.
Yeah. Shield overcharge is still going to keep these stalkers alive for as much time as Zaun needs to hold this, but it needs to kill at least one of the aliens. A lot is falling down for Zaun. This is not looking good. Dark Templars were walking back home, and if Dream was looking at that medevac, he saw the glimmer of those Dark Templars. I don't think he was. He's not really reacting to it, but he already has 1 Raven out. Why would he overreact to Dark Templars?
Well, Dark
Banshee?
Templars are usually a really good unit, but when that Raven is around and in position,
Yeah,
Dark Templars should not do anything. The Dark Templars are approaching the natural right now and might get the bunker down before... Okay, there's a scan ready.
okay. One of the Dark Templars goes down for a bunker. Not a good trade for the Protoss.
And now the
just-
Raven is in
yeah.
position as well, and those Dark Templars will not do anything from now on.
So Dream wants to play a very aggro game. He now has a Banshee in the making. This medevac with 3 aliens is still flying through the map, ready to get more damage. While Zaun, this game, it looks like everything he does is just not working.
Well, Zaun did try to go for the Dark Templars, right? And it wasn't scouted, but Dream's pressure on the other side of the map just denied anything for Zaun. He needed everything at home,
Also,
and
the
still
prop
lost.
dying and the pylon being cancelled, like having
Yeah.
those out tempers further away meant also that the damage couldn't be dealt before retreating. Now Dream is sharking for more damage. He found the proxy with the Banshee. Everything is going awry for Zaun.
Well, those force feeds were decent, but will it be enough?
Yeah, it
Will
looks
the
like
sentry
it.
die? Okay, no.
Just barely doesn't. The Dark Shrine will indeed die though. Dark Shrine is down. Zaun is eating with the Stalkers hit squad at the fur base of Dream. The tanks and Ravens, everything in position. Those Stalkers will not get much more than a couple Marines. So Zaun needs to get a lot of economy real quick. Right now. His saving grace is just some kind of comeback. Nice kill in the medevac down. Always nice. He's getting the first Colossus out. He doesn't have extended thermal lance. Not even in the making. Charge is on the way. Zaun is a little bit late on everything basically. While Dream is quite on point with his upgrades, with his tech, with his economy. Of course he has delayed everything a little bit for that Banshee to do something. Did the Banshee die? No, it didn't. Where is it? Oh, okay, it's flying into the main. By the way, no clock for this Banshee, so no actual way Dream can get any serious damage with the shield battery being in a natural. This Banshee looks a bit like a waste. Like, it allowed him to scout the Dark Shrine, but didn't do much more.
Yeah. At least he did get the Dark Shrine, so that possibility is killed off.
Zaun blinking forward into a full army. That was a big mistake.
Yeah, Zaun is agreeing to your words. He's like, was a mistake.
Yeah.
Just a mistake.
Losing a bunch of Stalkers isn't exactly what Zaun is looking for this game. More Medivacs flying. Trying to blindside Zaun. Dream playing this over-aggressive, multi-pronged kind of game is really doing crazy things here on Death Aura and against Hurricane on Pillars of Gold. Everything is looking very, very fine for the Terran
imagine
player.
that battery was overcharged. I wonder if the cannon could have defended that drop all by itself.
Yeah, true. No energy. So, well, how do you come back from this game for Zaun? I feel like Storm is a good choice as any. +1 ground weapons is almost done. Is going to be one, actually 2 upgrade behind for most of the game. I really have a hard time figuring out how do you win this game as Zaun. One of these ways is Dream not doing anything with his 30 army supply advantage, for sure.
Well, what you want to do is a lot of splash damage that comes in spells or has a super high base damage as it is, because you are not going to catch on that upgrade lead that Dream has. So Storm or Disruptors will just do really good. The army of Dream now getting in position really nice as well. Zaun is just tailing behind it.
He's getting the tanks before beautiful Storm getting so much damage. The beautiful anti-armor missile is also doing great job. Those Colossi are just flying into the depth. Another 2 beautiful Storms, but are they enough? I feel like they are not. The army of Zaun crumbles to Ghosts and Marauders. Everything left was gone for Dream. But the army of Zaun is no more, and Dream is just reinforcing this location even more. Nexus goes down, and Zaun, after losing so many key units, cannot really recover from this.
I guess Zaun still has a dream, but Dream has the name, and so Dream will just put on the pressure in another location, and I don't think purely chargelets will be able to hold this, unless the Widow Mines give him the best shots of their career.
They will not. Zaun struggling right here to hold, will call the GG, and we're getting to game 3 for the rematch of those two guys as well. So last series between Zaun and Dream third game was a 20 minutes long masterpiece of late game unit control. So I would love for them to get another one of those games, but I so hope that Zaun is able to get this and bring it home. Oh well, we will see. Hurricane was looking very strong in this game, I have to admit it.
Dream.
Very strong.
Dream was
Dream, sorry, not Hurricane. Dream, sure. Yeah.
The lack of sleep is hitting you right now.
Yeah,
I can imagine.
A little bit. I'm still pretty hyped. Isaac Chrome, what? Ugh.
You won't be happy. Now you can see how to play those maps before everybody else does.
Yeah, not the map I was expecting to see right here, but I guess it will do. Before getting into this last map for the day, guys, just consider heading to the Match Arena page. All the codes have already been used up. You can fulfill some of the Match Arena quests to add some money to the prize pool, but most of all, my biggest suggestion is just going and get those $5 into the prize pool to buy the Ultimate Showdown replay pack. Getting the replay packs of every single series of the tournament so far. It's going to be great. So many great matches have already been played. So many will be played in the future. So guys, just go grab this Ultimate Showdown replay pack and learn to play from the best of the best.
Just play like Dream, I guess. And spawning as the blue Protoss player, representing Alpha X on Ice and Chrome, it is our very own Zaun.
Spawning in the bottom left hand corner of this huge map is a red Terran instead, playing for Brave Star Gaming. Just tied up the score after a beautiful execution in game 2. It is Dream. I guess it was a dream performance.
He's a man with a dream.
We could go on forever. Best do not. It will be a dream.
Okay, let's see how this match point will turn out, because this is the last match for the night. And, well, Zaun and Dream both hoping for that last spot for the playoffs.
Of course, ready to face Zest in the playoffs. Already there, while Impact is going to play against Armani instead. So, a little bit of luck.
Game paused.
Ah, you are lagging, my friend.
Oh, what? Wait, I'm lagging a lot. Nope, it's not fixed. Definitely not fixed. That's a big problem over here. What is going on? I have absolutely no clue. Let me check. Okay.
Game
Oh,
resumed.
thank God. I don't know how to fix this, but It
What's
looks
your
like it's going
internet doing?
I have absolutely no idea, but let's all remember I live in Italy and these games are played in Korea, so I have 400 ping on the best day.
That Italian internet seems really nice.
Yeah,
Every time I hear somebody talking about that internet, their voice is full of joy.
Let's not talk about it. Like, yeah. Have you ever seen the ranking of the best internet connections in the world? Like, Italy is like in all the countries that have access to internet is like one of the bottom ones.
Yeah, I know that feeling coming from Germany. It's pretty much the same thing over here.
Yeah, but we guys have kind of bad. But let's hope it is not a problem again. It's lucky that it just happened on the last game. These last few days have been a mess for our internet. So I just hope that it won't be a problem anymore for the players.
Yeah. Let's hop back into the game. Zaun is going for that Stargate opener, and I'm excited to see what he can do with those oracles, and I hope he's going for oracles.
Oh,
It's Phoenix.
it's Phoenix's. But it's a Phoenix first, he could go for Oracle after that. Of course, going Stargate is always a very good choice on a big map. And I feel like the meta will just kind of settle to Stargate for Protoss on Ice and Chrome. I just have a hard time figuring other better openings for Protoss on this map.
Well, I think blink openers are still valid on this map.
Yeah, they are.
I'm still afraid of the 4-gate blink
By the
on
way,
either
this
of the new
Reaper
maps.
is just escaping deaths in so many different ways. Finally got down, but it has been alive and scouting for almost 2 full minutes.
Did he see the Stargate?
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
He also has seen the Phoenix getting out. He probably knows it's the second Phoenix because of the timing.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really have much in position. He has a bunch of Marines. Of course, the Phoenixes have to fly away. So I'm gonna have a 4th one at the making right now.
I like the response by Dream. He immediately got the 3rd command center and now is adding in Cyclone as well. He will be going for bioplay behind this. I feel like if you go for mech, you're very well set up because Phoenix will not do anything. Bio is still fine, though you will have to face huge amounts of Colossi, and your drop play is pretty much non-existent.
I agree with you, but then again, I just look at this map and I find myself thinking that it's just a tiny bit too big for not play Bio. Like, Bio is supposed to work better on a short map, yes, but you know what? Just being able to maneuver the Protoss army is going to be a little bit more valuable than getting this little advantage in the early game by going mech.
We'll see how this bio play will pay out. Right now, the Phoenix are just coming in and picking off
the Cyclones.
Marines for free.
The Cyclones
That
was
Cyclone.
just
That
a second from getting annihilated by those Phoenixes.
Yeah, that Cyclone should not drive too far out, otherwise he will get picked up and picked off.
Upgrades, of course, kicking in for both players. The Forge finally in the making for the Zaun, who's now getting extended thermal lens. But of course, with these many Phoenixes, Vikings are not going to be an issue for quite a while. Ooh, the Cyclone will be lifted and killed. Finally. The Colossus doesn't have extended thermal lens, so Zaun cannot really threaten a big fight to this army. Dream was a little bit scared of the Phoenixes most of all, I think. But in the end, both players kind of at a similar stage. Of course, Dream is going to have his stuff a little bit quicker because Zaun is committing into Phoenixes quite a lot. It's going to be a 6. That's not very usual, right?
Well, 6 Phoenix will deal with pretty much anything, but one thing I really don't like for Zaun right now, he has no idea where Dream's army is at right now. Even though he was expecting a drop, he didn't quite find it until now, and now he loses a Phoenix as well.
That was a quite of a overcommit from Zaun, going a little bit too forward, trying to get one medevac down. Won't even get close to it. Looks like control of these watchtowers is playing a pretty important factor for Zaun, who will lose control of this one just now. Adding more Phoenixes, adding more Colossi. Zaun, I feel like he should be making a 4th base anytime soon to just gain the economy he needs. Get
That was
another
a massive
explosion.
Widow Mine shot there right on the Phoenix.
True.
And those Widow Mines will pay off really well when they get shots onto the Phoenix and pull them into the Colossi.
Close one. Zealots will force his shots out. It looks like Zaun is really going deep into this 3rd base out of Dream. A hallucinated Colossus in the front to get some of those Vikings shots. Meanwhile, in the background, One War Prism is saving the life of those Colossi all time and time over and over. It looks like those are the real MVPs. 10 kills on one, 8 on the other. Phoenix is still standing, fighting those Vikings, and the ground army of Dream is no more Zaun. Perfect execution. He loses his War Prism now. He needs to be careful.
Oh my god. Almost
Okay.
loses a
Colossus.
Colossus right there to the splash
I
damage.
think he will lose it. Yeah, I think he will lose it. Even if he
Oh my
blocks
god.
that.
Don't lose that Colossus. It's only one Viking. No!
Well, nothing he could do. Like, both players lost a lot, but I feel like Zaun's units are just a little bit too expensive for him to lose. Of course, he's getting now the 4th. I was looking in for him to get.
Keep in mind,
yeah,
keep in mind, Zaun just killed 25 workers with his
Yeah,
push out
that
because
is true.
Dream had to pull his workers to defend his 3rd base, and Zaun can just sit back, take charge of this game in that kind, and try to put a soft contain onto Dream.
Yeah, now that ghosts are out, it's going to be harder and harder to do that. Especially without the Phoenixes to threaten the Vikings. I feel like the Colossi were basically what made Zaun win that fight. Am I lagging again?
Game paused.
No.
Are you?
It wasn't on me. Yeah, it's on me. Do I have to drop? Really? Like, it has these weird spikes that I have no clue why, but I mean, at least it never happened in a clutch moment.
Right? At least the fights were lag free.
Yeah, I hope
And
so.
right
at
now
least.
we're looking at the next fight as Zaun is just continuously pressuring Dream's 3rd base once again, and he has so many zealots with it.
Dream wasn't quite able to replace the army he lost right there, and now that Zaun is eating here at the 4th base, he could really take some serious losses. Of course, this choke point makes it quite hard, with the EMP being a thing, to fight good EMP here by Dream. But is it enough? Zealots wasting their charge the command center goes down, and that's a big victory for Zaun, who's now eating on the other side, getting more and more workers, getting his disruptors out, and those Vikings will just be dead weight in a moment.
We are at 35 workers killed for Zaun, and that's a number as a Terran player I dislike very much.
That's quite a lot of workers down. It is surprising that Dream is still able to have such a powerful army. Of course, these Vikings are bound to be dead with one ghost goes down. That's already pretty big. EMP still gets a bunch of Stalkers. But in the end, without Liberators to threaten these Disruptors, and 2 of them being produced at a time, plus 3 almost done, these Vikings really trying to get the Warp Prism, almost managed to do so. But even then, look at the other side of the map. Zealots wreaking havoc at the bases of Dream, forced to come back home with his whole army. Almost one ghost falls down as well, and Zaun firmly in grasp of this game, I'd say.
The problem for Dream is right now he cannot touch Zaun's 4th base because Zaun is putting on the pressure at the 3rd of Dream and cancelling every route that Dream could go to attack there. Dream will now try to get a big run by into the natural and 5th base of Zaun. The main army is at the 4th base, and we are looking at a small base trade here right now. One probe will be safe for sure, but that base should fall.
Oh, that's a full-on base trade. The army of Zaun is way stronger than the one of Dream right now. Let's not forget there are a lot of Vikings that are just now landed. Those Vikings can kill probes quite fast. And, well, you know, Dream can lift these buildings and fly away. But now with a perfect recall, the army of Dream will not survive any longer. But neither does the one of Zaun, actually. So many Protoss units have fallen. And I feel like these little bit of a hit squad in the main of Dream will make it work better for the Terran player than it is right now for the Protoss. The main army of Dream is deflected, but no recall into the main, and so much will fall sooner rather than later. Dream decides to lift and fly away, but Zaun is right now behind in workers.
He did lose a lot of workers, but he did also keep some of his bases alive, which is a huge deal because Dream is just now retaking his 3rd base, and this is not looking too good for Dream.
Yeah, Dream still has 4 command centers. That's still quite a lot. But of course, the lack of tech in his army, and by lack of tech, I mean the clear lack of Liberators, is really working against him. I still feel like Zaun could have just played it safer, recalled, fight the army of Dream, and it would have been better. But there is something with Terran and Protoss players. When they play each other, they feel this urge to base trade, and I never clearly understood why.
So Dream pretty much doing the only thing that could get him back into this game, and that was going for a lot of run-bys, trying to force the base trade situation, and then when the Protoss tries to come back, you try to snipe as many units and then get out with as much as you can.
By the way, Darkshrine and Templar Archives done at the same time. Zaun is racing for the last pieces of tech. With Guardian Shield, this is a commitment. Windowmine will go down. Another great Disruption Nova will barely whiff. The second one will zone a lot of units out, but Zaun cannot really commit, not with such great EMPs coming out of Dream. This recall is a little bit weird. Of course, Dream is splitting his army to hit in different spots. So Zaun needs to have his army prepared, and now with Archons being made, I feel like I felt in game 3 of the last series between those two guys, the Archons suddenly started changing the whole game in a way that, oh my god, Dream could not possibly have prevented. Let's see if they do so here as well. with Disruptor still being a thing, Zaun can still keep most of the Terran army at bay, but Dream is hitting in 2 different spots right now, and this Nexus barely doesn't fall.
Well, those DTs doing enough work to force Dream back, and now Dream might look to unify his army and hit with a big push, but to be honest, I'm not sure if those Archons are going to do that well, because there are so many ghosts with a lot of EMPs, and those EMPs will just shred through the shields of the Archons. Right now, those Archons
to use like 3 MPs to strip Archons out of them. Oh, the Disruptor's out of position. That was a big oof. Yeah,
losing those Disruptors is a no-go. There the Archons will fall as well, and now Dream is just hitting from every angle. Now the Disruptor shots have to be amazing.
The EMPs are quite not getting it. There is 1 Disruption Nova available just now. EMPs catches the Disruptors. Disruption Nova will get just a Marauder. The second Disruption Nova is pretty dang good.
Out there.
The Disruptors are falling left and right. 1 Disruptor will fall before the Nova. Can it? Second Disruptor will whiff his Nova. The army of Zaun is no more. GG gets gold. And we have the second place player of this group B. Ooh, that was a weird game. Dream was able to take it back into his grasp. I think that base trade was the wrong move that Zaun made. I cannot really see that base trade making a lot of sense. But yeah.
Well,
what to say?
Dream really did everything to get back into that game, and he managed to do so very well.
Yeah, Dream played a great game, played a great series. After losing so hard in game 1, he played a very convincing game 2. And then game 3 was very close, but in the end, he deserved that victory. So, it has been all for today. We have the 4 players in the playoffs, which are Zest, who is going to face Just Stream. And we have Armani, who's instead going to play against Impact. So we have a ZVZ and you have a PVT. See all 3 races present here in the playoffs that, by the way, are going to be on Friday. We're going to be here at the same time, 4 p.m. KST, 9 a.m. CST. I don't know what's the American time. That's already asking a little bit too much of me. But we'll be here for the playoffs in just 2 days. It's going to be great. So make sure to tune in Friday, 4 p.m. KST. Be there. And thank you very much for watching. Thank you to the players, to the Black One for being here with me and casting with me. Of course, if you want to say something, please do so.
Okay, to all the Korean viewers, 오늘도 열심히 시청해 주셔서 감사합니다. 금요일에도 경기가 있어서 그때도 열심히 시청 바랍니다. Thank you a lot for those amazing matches, to everybody who was organizing so far, and I'm so looking forward to seeing those playoffs.
So guys, you heard it here first. See you in 2 days. It's going to be great. New patch, new maps. Be there. Don't let someone tell you the stories. Watch them with your own eyes. Thank you very much for being here. See you on Friday.